Looking back on it, it was definitely the worst experience of competitive. It was up there among just worst experiences in general, just by lack of and we got it to almost halfway to the first checkpoint, and no, they didn't want to switch off trying to get back to get on a pirate ship.
I'm impressed you got that far with it from the sounds of it.
Yeah, but it's at that moment, if it is that far away to do a pirate ship, we would have to kill all of their team to get you guys on it.
Yeah.
So why do you think you can still run it?
Yeah, not a good idea at that point.
Yeah, it was... They couldn't do... That's what was so stupid, is we went against people who did it and did it well and were prepared for it, and you think that it's the balls to be like, well, we can do it right back.
Yeah, everybody knows the best way to learn how to run a group like that is the first thing you have to do is figure out its weaknesses.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because then it's okay, they've got this, this, and this. It's probably not going to work very well. Let's switch to something else.
The weakness is employing characters that can push you off of it.
Yeah.
It's the minute you're off of it and you know it's going to be an uphill battle just to put yourself back on, it's not worth running anymore.
Yeah, it's not worth it. And especially if you got characters like Junkrat that are good about destroying shields rather easily without having to sacrifice going outside of cover or something like that.
Yeah.
It was just... me and Brandon were already getting near fed up, and that was just the push into the void.
The nail in the coffin.
So, God, where do I put my headphones?
And
I'm going to hope this is the right
it was not nearly as bad yesterday, but me and Brandon both are just we're gonna wait for Derek.
That ain't a good sign if you're waiting for me.
I'm just we have to know that at least half of our team knows what's happening.
As opposed to a third, yeah. One player can make a huge difference.
I think it's nice about having you is you play a lot of May and Junkrat, which are the counters to most of the best DPS that are part of the meta right now.
This 2-2-2 has done wonders for my game.
Yeah.
May is the perfect person to have in a 2-2-2.
It's the
DPS that kind of serves as a tank, halts mobility characters, yeah.
It's Diva and Reaper are the two best. It's the best combination of DPS.
Yeah.
And the best counter for May and Reaper is May and Reaper.
Yeah. I can believe that for sure. When fighting a May, it's just whoever gets the first part of the hit in. At that point, it's over.
Yeah. That's the thing is, if you have a Reaper next to you, you don't even have to freeze them, and you just gotta slow them down, and the Reaper can just blap.
Yeah.
It's just the thought processes. It's I was just so infuriated. And that's what sucks, is it's we'd never be little whiny bitches about SR. But it's one of those things that it's
It's not even SR, this is common sense.
It can't always be your fault.
No.
Because it's kind of one of those things, is it's as a healer, it's oh, you're graded on how many people are dying around you. It's I can't help if I'm healing someone, we turn a corner and 5 people just drop dead.
Yeah.
It's what did you want me to do? So
Man, there's no truth bullets here.
No.
You got 17.
It feels kind of low for me, I don't know.
It feels so eclectic and weird.
Alrighty.
Oh, and I lost connection during one game and had to return.
Oh, yeah, that never helps.
I've come up with a special rule. So listen up. If you can figure out Muguru's killer and go on to solve the mystery of this school, you guys win. But if you can't, then I win.
Yay.
And of course, waiting for the loser is the super exciting, super heart-pounding punishment!
Are you saying that if you lose, you'll execute yourself?
Yep, sure will.
Oh, as a side note, we are going to talk a little bit about DR2 once you're done with the first game.
Cool.
I figured I'd at least show you the cast list of who there is.
Bears never go back on their word.
Never mind all that. I just have one question for you.
Uh-oh.
Oh, you're taking this seriously.
Are you a good ghost?
Are you feeling okay?
Is the mastermind only one person? Don't bother. I already know the answer.
Oh no.
You're all the mastermind, aren't you? You're all out to get me.
Damn it, hero.
Paranoid idiot.
Right, aren't I? I knew it.
I love his voice cracks. I knew it. I knew it!
I knew it!
This is gonna be
Damn it!
I was so convinced we were already having a bullet time battle.
Like, well, alright, let's prove him wrong.
Yeah.
You guys have all been working together, haven't you? I have evidence, so I know I'm right.
Hey, you stole my line. You're not out to get me, I'm sure of it. I have evidence of my own.
What a coincidence. I too have evidence to present. Evidence that proves everyone under me has been working together.
Bianca, I thought you were smarter than this.
Wait, so did all of their picture have them not in it? I'm assuming?
Correct. Whoa, that... Ugh.
I like how it gave you all of one thing to select.
Yeah.
Three of them think everyone around them is their enemy.
So it's not that they all were like, oh, Makoto's not in the picture, it's just like, well, he apparently knows what's going on and they just don't trust anyone but themselves.
The only person not in their pictures is themselves. It's like Byakuya has one that doesn't have him in it, but everybody else is. Same with, I don't know why I was saying Himiko, that's a character from the third game. Same with Asahina. Same with Hiro.
You guys have all been working together, haven't you? I have evidence, so I know I'm right.
I feel like there was only one thing in there.
There was.
There was.
It was just the one.
The very last thing.
What a coincidence. Evidence that proves everything.
Doesn't make any sense. How can the three of us each have that kind of evidence?
I feel like when Byakuya is sped up, it's like the equivalent of Simon, like the Alvin and the Chipmunk's chipmunk.
Yeah.
Like the one that's supposed to be intelligent.
It's not just you three. I have evidence too.
What? You too?
The evidence you're all referring to is this group photo, right?
Well, yeah.
Taka.
Huh? Wait, but mine is different. With the picture you have, I'm in it.
Oh, I couldn't even find Hina in that shot for a second there. I was like, where is she?
Yeah, far right.
Yeah, it didn't help they're all wearing brown and her hair's like the exact same color.
I'm the only one knowing.
Oh, it's Sakura.
They had to put her like half the track behind in order to make it fair.
She looks like a lion about to just demolish a gazelle. It's like, you know she's on like her third lap
Oh
and
yeah,
everyone's
she's easily lapped them all.
Hiro, you have a picture too, right? Let's see it.
Okay, but be careful with it. It's pretty important evidence.
Oh, you little slow sweetie.
This
I
one
see they
too.
just copy and
Look at
pasted
Leon.
Takas
Yeah.
from Makoto.
There's Hina eating donuts. And Sakura.
Mondo is dead, I guess.
Oh, look at Toko.
Yeah.
Oh god.
That's Genocide Jack!
Yes.
What is Leon doing?
It's like photobombing, but not succeeding.
He looks
completely.
so photoshopped.
Yeah, he does.
So the secret in these pictures has been revealed.
Secret or whatever, I don't care. You guys are all in on this together. That's why I'm the only one missing.
But not in my picture. You're the ones trying to trick me.
So the whole purpose behind these photos
Here you
is
go,
to get us
Makoto.
questioning and fighting with each other. The mastermind laid a trap to make us each think everyone else was working against us. Huh? I laid a trap? A trap? How rude!
Activated my trap card.
What grounds do you have for such audacious accusations?
Proof I need to reveal Monokuma's trap. Each photo has a certain something in common. There's
Oh
a
my
connection
God.
regarding what person isn't showing in the group photos. That person is the one who got the photos.
In each case, the only one not in the picture is the person who received it.
Yay!
Well, that was actually a surprisingly good throw for how I threw it.
So, in the picture I got, I'm the only one missing.
Why is Junko's face missing from all of
I
them?
noticed that.
Oh my god, I think I just realized the joke.
Huh.
Like, she's the fashionista, right? So
Yeah.
she's on a lot of covers of magazines. That scene from Monsters, Inc. with Mike, where he gets put on the cover of the magazine, but they blocked out his face with the little barcode or whatever. I'm on the cover of a magazine!
What is that tie Junko's wearing?
I think it's just a bow tie.
Was she? Oh, but she's got like a little black and white like.
Oh,
little-
sorry. I thought you meant the... No, she wears that normally.
Okay.
And probably not that one, but she does wear a tie normally.
Yeah, 'cause
I
she was
still like that
missing
one the
from
most.
She's the only one
She's
missing.
over here.
Yeah.
face.
Who's she
annoying.
talking to?
I meant that her face wasn't.
I
Oh,
meant
that's Chihiro,
Chihiro.
isn't it?
I think it's pretty hard to hide the fact you're cross-dressing in those
Yeah.
in that uniform.
Yeah. I'm impressed they managed to get Hifumi out onto the...
Hero guy. He's the only one missing.
As long as we're talking about it, I suppose I should show you my photo as well.
Oh, you didn't?
No, go back to that.
I can't. It's scripted.
God damn it. Sakura was uppercutting a fish?
Who
I
put
saw
a
it.
fish in the bowl?
We saw her picture. I just assumed everyone else was the enemy.
Here you go. Hero, good
Figured
boy.
it out, huh?
Yeah, I thought that must be it. But how was that a hint?
But you know, there might be more to this than just Monokuma trying to confuse us. There's something else that bothers me about everyone's pictures. What is it? What's digging at me?
Can I see everyone's group photo one more
Yeah,
time?
go back to Byakuya's. I want to see that again.
It's not directly connected to what we're talking about, but I'd like to double check something.
Sure, no problem.
Yeah, I don't mind.
Okay, person I thought was out to get me 2 seconds ago.
I know.
Yep.
Whatever request you have is reasonable now.
I'm sure
Now
there's
that I've
something
already
unusual about
flipped
these
my
group
shit.
photos.
I don't see why they wouldn't be. If somebody just like ripped up evidence in front of everybody else in the trial, wouldn't that seem a little suspicious to do that?
Is Junko's face not being shown in the Byakuya's too?
I don't know, we didn't get to see
I
it.
know.
All we get to see was Sakura uppercutting a fish.
Where is she? Where is she?
Byakuya.
Yeah,
Yeah, she's getting
you can't
splashed
see
in the
it.
face.
By Leon. This one's actually surprisingly dull outside of Sakura uppercutting a fish and Hifumi
Yeah.
in midair. I don't know why, but...
Why are Fume's legs so skinny?
The only thing
What
that
is
does
Hiro
work
doing
out.
in the background?
Yeah.
He's
like,
being
yeah.
a precious boy.
Wait, are we just ignoring Mondo and his Speedo over here in the background?
Where? It's just.
I mean, if any of the guys could pull off a speedo, it'd probably be him.
Probably.
Clever of having Chihiro, like, just his head above the water so you
God,
couldn't see.
I love that picture of Sakura.
And she's got the red eye too.
I know,
Yes.
she's out for blood. Leon's having such a good I'd like to think that's who she's after.
Makoto's dying.
It's like... Seems that Makoto and Hifumi have, like, the same penchant for exercise.
Yeah.
It's all Junko. Didn't she have, like, a little clip that looked kind of like Monokuma?
No, it was a rabbit.
It was?
was a
Okay.
rabbit.
I knew it was, like, a little black and white thing.
Yeah. This was a bun.
Something strange about all of this. Something I can't quite pin down. Something... Group photos, man, to the truth bullet section of your handbook.
Can you just forget about the photo already?
No.
Spend 50 minutes looking around.
Trying to trick me with such an obviously fake photo. I'm still pissed about that.
I love it. Hero's there. Just recording.
To make it look like you were wearing matching uniforms.
Oh, they should have done one with like a school play. They could have dressed him up as a flower and just painted his hair.
So you think they're fake? No, I assure you, they're
That pose.
real.
What are you talking about? There's no way.
Yeah, I don't remember ever taking a picture like
What's
that.
the point?
So it's gotta be a fake. I'm sure of it.
I bet the occult created it.
Probably.
Would you really be so sure?
Huh?
Don't get me wrong. I don't remember taking this picture either. But is that really enough to be absolutely positive they're fake?
What do you mean?
Oh, you're here.
Yeah.
We thought you were dead.
Did Toko not get a picture?
She
I
didn't-
guess not.
I don't think she went.
They never show hers if she's got one. Oh, that's right. She didn't go, and Kyoko didn't go either.
The reason I don't remember this picture isn't necessarily because it's fake. There might be some other reason.
It's
Some terrible reason.
Hero's gonna have a field day when this turns into a very like Illuminati cultish.
He's already very
Hear me
unhinged,
out,
isn't he?
Hero. They just wiped our memories. Just him. Oh my god.
An unbelievable but entirely horrifying reason.
Like, this is gonna make Hero the most right of them all, as far as like how deep this conspiracy theory is going.
God, they gave you way too many letters for that. Oh, whatever.
I don't get it.
You can hit escape, I think, gives you the question. Oh, no, it doesn't. I thought there was a button that did.
Why does this?
That's just slowing down.
That space took that.
Yeah, that's this bit. Is it tab? Maybe they don't in the first game. At least the later games where they give you the question. But it's basically saying, like, why wouldn't we remember any of these pictures being taken?
Oh.
Is your question.
Amnesia.
Now I understand. Let's say that somehow we'd all lost our memories. That could explain it, couldn't it?
Oh, I get it. So we all just lost our memory.
Hero! I think
Nailed it.
Photo. Makes sense.
Every time we took a photo, the flash just made us forget everything.
That's it. You expect me to believe such an unbelievable occult type story?
We all lost our memories? That's just crazy.
It's only natural that they wouldn't believe it.
it
But
being
no
a
matter
cult
how much they
bullshit.
refuse, if that's the absolute truth, they have no choice. They can't move forward until they accept it. And there's another way to prove it besides those pictures. Make your argument.
Maybe I'll use this break thing when I edit very hardcore and I need stuff for sounds. I actually like this music a lot.
Yeah.
You're saying we all got spontaneous amnesia? Since when did this turn into something?
Now I remember that I don't remember.
I promise you, I haven't lost my memory.
How would you know?
Ever since I got to this school, I remember everything that's happened.
I would assume it's that.
idea that we all lost our memories.
It's totally stupid.
Okay, so it has to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Must be more evidence than those pictures that will blah 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 blah.
Blah, blah,
blah.
blah, blah, blah.
Better hurry, you've only got 16 and a half minutes to answer this one singular question.
I remember everything that's happened.
No, you haven't remembered everything. Idiot!
Good thing I brought this portable DVD player.
Oh, now that I think about it, didn't you get the skill that lowers the amount of yellow text?
I think so.
Maybe we just talked about it. But if you
Yeah.
had that
He did.
equipped, that would explain why.
Yeah.
But I thought it was like to 2 or 3. Maybe this one there was only like 2 or 3.
I don't know if it
anyway.
lowers it to 2 or 3 or if it lowers it by 2 to 3. Because if it lowers it by 2 to 3 and there was like 3, then
Yeah.
that would make sense.
This DVD does the same thing.
You're not showing something indecent, are you?
Why did you assume that?
Yep, we're gonna watch a porno right here and now.
Because it's of Toko!
There actually is a joke about that in the third game as well. There's like a DVD room where you're looking through stuff just to find anything suspicious, and there's totally a porno on there.
Nice.
There's like somebody else with you, and he's like, "What? What is it?" She's like, "Nothing. Don't worry about it. It's fine."
When you say all of us,
I would mean everyone.
Including you.
you lied. I never did any kind of interview. No, it's not a lie. Just watch the DVD and see for yourself. The headmaster did, in fact, interview you. What are you saying?
I didn't imagine
Should have gone to Hero. Okay, I guess that makes sense.
It's not about whether or not I remember. You expect me to believe all this? That I lost my memory somehow?
Well, we don't have any way to refute it, so we have no choice but to accept it as reality.
Good boy.
I don't think that's how that logic works, but okay.
Say that. We're talking about living, breathing amnesia here.
To be honest, I have something else on my mind right now.
How did you play that in this courtroom?
You said the DVD contains recordings of us being interviewed by the headmaster, right? What were the interviews about?
Oh, you didn't play
Headmaster
it.
sat each of us down, one at a time, and asked us the same question. He asked us if we could accept the idea of spending the rest of our lives in school.
What question is that?
And how did we answer?
We'd say no, obviously.
Actually, we all said we could. Even you. the mastermind.
Why would you say yes to something like that?
I don't know. I don't remember a thing.
The same goes for everyone else. Nobody remembers. You don't remember choosing to live here forever, or even talking to the headmaster about it all.
It doesn't matter if I remember or not. Even if I bought the whole amnesia thing, the idea that I would want to live here forever? That's just insane! How can I believe that?
Didn't you say in one of your like, little support things you didn't want to leave because there were people out to get you?
Yeah.
You sure are, cause it's all true.
I know it sounds absurd, but if it's the truth,
I should have looked more into the DR1 characters to see what other voices they did.
Indeed. We only have one path in front of us.
Really?
Yeah, you all totally lost your memory at the same time.
This is all making my head hurt.
And this isn't like some normal kind of memory loss. You stole those specific memories from us, didn't you? Oopsie. You figured that part out too, huh?
You're being unusually agreeable, Monokuma.
of course, there's no way we would all just happen to get amnesia at the same time.
How could someone just steal our memories?
How? Come. That hardly matters right now. If I said it was hypnotism, would you believe me? Or we opened up your skulls and messed with your brains? Would you really believe anything I said? How it happened doesn't matter right now.
What matters is figuring out what memories you took from us. That's what you're trying to say, right?
I knew I could count on you.
The interview with the headmaster, taking that group photo, those can't be the only memories we lost. There must have been a purpose to it all. A reason for taking away our memories.
Of course there was a purpose. It all has to do with the original motive.
Original
You
motive.
mean the motive you came up with to try and get us to all kill each other?
That has something to do with the memories you stole from us?
It sure does. But that part's still a secret. Anyway, I'm sure it's not easy, but let's all focus on the close trial for the murder of Mukuro Ikusaba.
Okay, so you want us to figure out who killed her before we do anything else.
So until we do that, well, either way, we have to explain every last remaining mystery. So, the one who killed Mukuro, the true mastermind, that's what we need to expose. Monokuma control room, Kurosawa's profile, headmaster, ebook.
So who did it? Who killed her?
You did!
Whoever did it is the same one who's behind everything. That much I'm sure of.
When you think about it, is the mastermind really here at the school?
Of course. They have to be here somewhere.
What makes you so sure?
What does make me so sure? Exactly. You're just making stuff up. There's no way the mastermind is here. The mastermind is probably 1,000,000 miles away.
No. Why? It so looked like it fit the other one.
That the mastermind
Which
is
other one? The
somewhere
one where it
within
said
the school.
Mastermind has to be here?
Yeah.
How
It's
do
like,
you
because the
know?
thing is
Did you
here.
find some evidence or something?
Don't look at me like that.
Suck it! Excuse me.
In the back of the
I think she might have also been Genocide Jack at the time, which is why she wouldn't remember the control center.
Yeah.
But I'm not 100% sure about that.
The mastermind must have been using that to control it.
Actually, no, she wasn't whenever you were, like, all together trying to get the antenna to work.
Yeah.
So there can't
think
be
she
any
was.
doubt. The mastermind has been inside the school all along.
There can't be any doubt.
They're inside the bear.
In which case, there also can be no doubt that the mastermind is one of us.
Why?
Recall what Makoto told us Monokuma
Like,
said
who's
to him
controlling
earlier.
Monokuma then?
I'm sure I told you this already, but this killing game began with 16 participants, all of them high school students. And the only people to take a single step in Hope Speak Academy since the killing game began are those 16 students.
So if the mastermind is in the school, we have to assume it can only be that 16th student.
How'd they manage to survive all of this?
So we're the only ones here? It's not me. I'm not the mastermind.
Well, it's not me.
No one thought you had the brains to pull it off, man.
I blame Makoto. What? Why me? Cause it's super weird how you're the only one who survived being executed.
Oh, I get it. The only way he could have survived is if he was actually the mastermind himself, right?
I'm grasping at straws, but it's not dumb straws.
Yeah.
Wait, what are you trying to say?
Everyone, calm down. There's no reason to panic.
Panic.
The mastermind's true identity will become clear soon enough. Just as soon as we find out who killed Mukuro.
That's a good point. Rather than wasting time bickering, we should put our minds to work solving this mystery.
Yeah, well, how much time have we already spent talking about the murder?
He's right. What more is there to talk about?
If you want something to talk about, I think there might be one thing. We haven't fully established what Mukuro's fatal injury was.
Huh? But I thought we figured that out. She died when she got hit in the back of the head.
No, that isn't actually what killed her. It was something entirely different. Wouldn't you agree, Makoto?
Mukuro's actual cause of death must have been the other wounds.
Kyoko's wrong. It's the blow to the head.
The bomb!
No, that's what killed Toko, remember?
Yeah.
Covering her body. That's what really killed her.
Hey, now hold on a second. You did read the Monokuma file, right?
Body was covered with other wounds, but these were at least several days old.
It made it pretty clear. Those wounds were made at least a few days ago.
At least we know he can
Be what
read.
killed her.
Yeah.
Consider this. What if the murder itself took place at least a few days ago?
What?
What if, when we discovered her body, she'd already been dead for several days? If that's true, then naturally the wounds that killed her would appear to be however many days old.
That doesn't make any sense. Because she had all those wounds before she ever came here. Huh? How do you know that? Isn't it obvious? She was the ultimate soldier, right? So that means, you know.
Weak.
You're wrong.
She denied me before I could even say anything. Come on.
God damn it, Toko. Why are you so
think
creepy?
I'm not weird, okay?
Yes, you are!
This is the trial of how weird Toko is.
Your other half that's a serial killer is more composed than you!
Like to think Jack's in there just like, oh my god.
If you're so sure we're gonna deny you, why bother saying it in the first place? Make your argument. Monokuma's control room, Mukuro-san's profile, headmaster's... obvioso.
Ambioso.
Was the ultimate soldier. She must have been 100 different battles.
Yes, and didn't get hit once.
Think about it.
Because she was the ultimate soldier.
She got all those wounds in battle.
Ah!
Oh, perfect.
You didn't deny me this time. You made me go all cutesy.
What?
Don't worry. There wasn't anything cute about it.
Freaking white noise is so funny.
She must have been so. Obviously, she got all those wounds in battle.
Are you finished?
Ah! Come on.
Barely too. I thought it hit.
Anything cute about it?
She must have been so. When you think about it, obviously, she got all.
No, it's wrong. No, Mukuro didn't suffer those wounds in battle. The file we found in the headmaster's room said as much. Despite the time she spent in battle after battle as a member of Fenrir,
Nope, he's done.
And now he's just like,
He's just there like, please let it be Toko so she can get executed.
In which case,
he's probably ready to get executed and just be done with it.
As a matter of fact, it's hard to imagine any other possibility. When examining her body, I found that her stomach and head wounds came after she was already dead.
unless anyone has any better suggestions, I think we can say this with confidence. The wounds Mukuro sustained all over her body are what ultimately killed her.
Yeah, it was Junko.
Thanks for the nice shot of her boobs right there, by the way, game.
Does that mean she's really been dead for who knows how long?
That's exactly what it means. When we found her body in the garden, she'd already been dead for several days.
They waited a couple days for the investigation and everything, and then they put her in a freezer that could keep her fresh.
Yeah.
So then, what about the little matter of what
springtime
happened
lily.
last night?
Oh yeah, this again.
Kodo,
For like
you
the
said
8th
you were
time.
trapped in your room by a masked assailant. If Mukuro had already been dead for several days, certainly it couldn't have been her. So who was it that attacked you?
It was
You're
you!
the one who attacked me. I can't think of anyone else. Huh. Oh, that's right, because we haven't proven that it wasn't her yet.
Shoot!
My bad.
Damn it! It's just not as good as damn it.
Yeah.
That one's just too funny.
I got it!
I'm trying to remember what the character in the third game, what their, like, I messed up sound effect or voice line is.
When we discovered Mukuro in the garden wearing the same mask. I
I don't know why it gets funnier each time I see it. Just that big grin on his face.
But I was wrong. It wasn't her at all.
What are you laughing at?
Oh, don't mind me. I'm just getting a little impatient sitting here listening. I think I'm gonna jump in. Let's start off with a nice, easy question. Your assumption that I attacked Makoto is just that, right? An assumption. You can't really know who was under that mask, can you? I mean, that's the whole point of a mask. The true identity of the masked attacker is Mukuro Ikusama. At least, that's what I think. Do you have any evidence that might convince me otherwise?
No, there's no way Mukuro is the one that attacked me. Even if I didn't see their face. Mukuro had a very obvious Fenrir tattoo. Oh, and this person doesn't?
Oh yeah, it's not in that
Yeah.
image.
It should be obvious. Welcome to file number 5.
You never saw their face, right? So you can't have any idea who was under that mask. I'm telling you now, it was Mukuro Ikusama.
You're wrong. Even without seeing their face, there's another part of the attacker we can use to prove it wasn't her.
Oh? And what is this other part? Is it the right hand? Or the left hand?
Ah,
Maybe the right foot? Or perhaps the left foot?
I think it was
And lastly, the head of Exodia!
The yes.
I think it was the right hand.
You never saw
Yeah, it was the right
their
hand.
face,
I'm pretty sure.
right?
So right or left hand?
I think it was the right hand because I think it was the one closest to you, and where she was laying, it would have been the right.
Now, it was
Fuck.
Ikusama.
No? Oh, I
You
missed
had
with the
used-
other.
yeah.
God damn it! I hate how that works.
You never saw their face, right? So you can't have. I'm telling you now.
You're wrong. There's another part of the
Oh, is it the left hand? Maybe the right foot.
At least the hands are
You got right
first.
foot.
Did I?
Yeah, you
God
did.
damn it.
Yes. You never saw their face, right? So you can't have. I'm telling you now.
You're wrong. There's
Monokuma with Mukuro's right foot.
You still got.
What the the hell?
Okay, that was weird.
Yeah.
Let me try to get it before the feet options show up.
There you go, you got it now.
Their face. So you can't have any. I'm telling you now. It was. No, it's wrong.
Mukuro had a tattoo on her right hand, if I remember correctly. A representation of Fenrir. In other words, a wolf tattoo. But I saw the right hand of the person who attacked me.
Because this image will not leave.
So there's no way the person behind the mask was Mukuro.
Yeah, well, okay. You got me. I guess it wasn't her. But that still doesn't prove that it was me. It could have been, you know, someone else.
It was Hiro.
Hiro, Toko, Hina, and I all.
Nah, there's no way it could have been Hiro. How would he have gotten all his dreadlocks inside that mask?
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, we were in the gym tearing you apart.
Oh, I guess that too.
It could have been any of us.
Oh, okay, sure. It couldn't have been any of you. But what about Kyoko? It totally could have been her. Uh-oh. No snappy comeback. Did I score a bullseye?
If you insist, I don't mind showing you.
Huh? Show me what?
What do you think? I'll show you the one thing that proves beyond a shadow of a doubt it wasn't me.
Before anyone could say anything. Kyoko was removing her gloves.
Your hands!
Without thinking, I let out a gasp.
Probably really great for her self-esteem.
It was more than just a little burned skin.
Awful, isn't it? It happened when I was first learning to be a detective. I was inexperienced.
I thought you didn't want anyone to see those scars.
If it means we get another step closer to unmasking the mastermind, it doesn't really bother me.
Kyoko seemed to savor the words as she said them. Then she put her glove back on.
My scars should suffice as proof.
Hero's vomiting.
Did the person who attacked you have scars?
Talks
like
about why she
mine?
doesn't want the gloves off as she's taking one off. I'm sure it's not that bad. Oh my god!
No, not at all. I'm positive.
Then this much has been made clear. There can be no doubt that the one who attacked Makoto is the true mastermind.
This is just awful. On top of my secret being revealed, I had to look at those positively grotesque scars of yours. Sorry, did I say that out loud? I do.
Hero just off to the side with a smile.
I like this pose.
Not at all. You can say whatever you want.
There's a DR2 character that would totally be doing that. They don't actually in the game, but I could totally see that character just like practicing their poses off to the side while the trial was going on.
Sure, as long as it means pushing me farther into the corner, right? Not corner just yet.
Bum 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 ba da ba. Oh wait, that's Phoenix, right? Never mind.
The circumstances surrounding
Such a good
Mukuro's
soundtrack,
death
though.
are totally unknown.
That's true.
All we know right now is she was killed a good while before this morning.
On the contrary, we don't know anything other than that.
You're not going to tell us she was already dead before we arrived here or something, are you?
In that regard, you have nothing to worry about. I promise you, without a doubt, she died after our little killing game began here.
Then somehow she was killed in secret without any of us knowing.
And after she died, who knows how much time went by before we found her, right? Did the culprit stash her somewhere? She couldn't have been in the garden the whole time, could she?
If she was, she would have been totally decomposed. Just like
They just hid her under the chickens and no one noticed.
Yep.
Then she was being stored somewhere?
to hide a body here.
where would you store a body?
Under the tarp. The half that's not wet, obviously.
Of course, the dry tarp. The dry half of the tarp. There's only one place. I can't think of anywhere else the body could have been stored.
What the fuck? No.
Cool.
No.
She's just in the fridge.
I was gonna say, at least the kitchen is semi-viable.
No, you just put it in an airtight container and put it in the bottom of the pool so no air can get to it, so it doesn't decompose. Obviously.
Mukuro's body was
Genius.
probably kept hidden in the biolab.
Biolab? You mean on the 5th floor?
That's right. It's actually set up for use as a morgue. So
Ah, the
it's
irony.
the perfect place to hide a body.
Since
And
bio
yet
is
keep
supposed
the
to mean,
body
you know,
preserved
life.
At the same time.
Then you're also saying the body was moved from the biolab to the garden.
And I have no doubt that that's exactly what happened. In fact, I have proof.
Pluroof.
Proof.
Let me show the ploof I have
You
shit.
start pulling out all the dead bodies. Everyone's
Here's
screaming.
Taka. Mondo. Just a little thing of butter.
Truth bullet!
The one who pisses him off the most, he chucks him away.
Just trying to pull him out.
The ploof that shows the body was carried from the biolab to the garden. There's something that made its way from the biolab to the garden. The tlarp!
I got it.
He just puts it up. It's like, can you read?
The body was carried from the biolab to the garden is the tarp that we found in the garden. When I was checking it over again, I noticed something.
Something no one noticed at the other trial.
Yeah, pretty sloppy, Makoto.
Yeah.
Oh, it says
No wonder you were
biolab.
almost killed.
Holy cow! How'd you notice that tiny little thing?
You're kidding, right?
Mukuro's nitpicky nature seems to have surfaced with perfect timing.
This proves that the tarp originally came from the biolab.
It just ignores the fact he sassed him.
In fact, there's a whole stack of tarps just like it in there.
So when the
So much of
killer
this
moved
trial
the
is like,
body
just
to the
take my
garden,
word for it.
he must
Like
have
the
grabbed the tarp
DVD
to
thing.
light it.
If he
Yeah.
never showed them, they're like, alright, that's weird, but I gotta give it to you.
Then they simply left it as it was to protect against the sprinklers, and put the coat on it afterwards.
You made everything sound so amazingly consistent.
That's just a wild guess. Where's your evidence? Prove that the body was wrapped in a tarp and moved.
There is no evidence. I was simply explaining what I think happened. But you seem to be getting pretty worked up about it, wouldn't you say? Now that the conversation has turned to the topic
Starts
of
smashing on the
biolab,
keys again and just gets random
you must be
squiggles and
getting
whatnot like you
pretty
did earlier.
nervous. Because the key to uncovering your secret identity is hidden within that room, isn't it?
You're talking about unmasking the mastermind?
You see, the biolab contained an inconsistency. One so major it can't be overlooked.
An inconsistency in the biolab? Could you be talking about...
I can hear you. La, 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 la.
Such a child. Oh well, just ignore him.
I need to pull myself together and think. The inconsistency in the biolab. Could you have been talking about...
By the way, Makoto, what about that one thing?
One thing.
What do you think I'm talking about? Your family.
What?
Bastard.
Don't tell me you forgot about that video message.
His mom looks like an adult
So
Hina.
what do you
Yeah, a
think?
little bit.
Are you sure your family's still okay?
I don't know anything about her, but she looks like she's a
Why are
very...
you bringing that up now? Your mom, your dad, your little sister. What do you think has happened to your family? Are they really as safe as you might have assumed?
Stop talking about that.
Calm down, Makoto. He wants you to get upset.
Yeah, I need to calm down. I can't let him get to me. He's just saying that because he knows we're getting close to the truth of the biolab. So, if I want to shut him up, I need to expose the inconsistency and slam him with it. The inconsistency has to be that one area where the numbers just don't match up.
What was the headmaster trying to protect them from if they wanted to stay there? Did all of like the videos here come from that area too? Kind of that time period? Instead of...
I mean, yeah, all the videos would have been before the killing game started.
Are you sure about this? That's impossible! 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 What do you want? I'm not listening!
Fuck, what was it?
I think it was the biolab secret.
Are you sure about this? That's impossible!
It's the Q button.
Remember, you can use the mouse wheel too.
Yeah, I know, but it doesn't stay up as long.
Oh, or is it the lights?
Damn it! It's the first time I've died.
I know. So weird. Be interesting to see though.
Yeah.
Is this really the end for all of us?
They give you 2.5 minutes to decide.
They give you 2.5 minutes to decide if you want to continue.
You remember in arcades when we got like 10 seconds to insert another credit?
Yeah.
Better have those quarters on you now!
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, so it must be the biolab lights.
Are you sure about this? That's impossible!
It's only now just watching this like first version of the 1v1 battles that I'm realizing how much easier it is in this game compared to the third game. Because holy crap, is it hard in the third game.
Fuck, I cannot.
Are you sure about this? Are you sure about this? That's impossible!
It's the tempo down one sucks. the
Yeah,
most.
that one really sucks.
Are you sure about this? That's impossible!
Alright, it's biolab lights.
I'm not listening!
I do like how he just turns away from you. It's like Final Strike.
No,
Yeah.
he's just like, whatever.
Like, he does that thing that Waluigi does in Mario Party where he just looks away from the camera.
The inconsistency Kyoko's talking about is the lights.
What are you talking about? What about the lights?
Like I said before, the biolab also acts as a morgue. And as part of that, a giant refrigerator was installed in there. That's where everyone who's died is stored.
And it was set up so that when a slot had a body in it, a blue light would turn on.
In other words, if the
That's
blue
not how
light
it was
is
set
on,
up, that's how the
that means
manufacturers
there's a
make the product.
But I counted up the number of blue lights that were on, including the one Mukuro was in. And there were only 9.
What does that matter? You gotta give me the bite-sized version here, man.
9 lights doesn't make sense. The number of lights that should be on should be 10.
I got it! 10 of the lights should have been on. Any other number is incredibly suspicious.
That's simple. Just recall who's died here so far, and it should become clear.
That's right. That's the key to solving this mystery.
It's just the logic moments there. Just like, why? And she's like, it should become clear. Instead of, because 10 people died, Toko.
Yeah. Sayaka died first. Junko was
Yeah, there's the
second.
rabbit.
Leon was third. Chihiro was fourth. Mondo was fifth. Tako was sixth. Then Hifume was seventh. Celeste was eighth. Sakura was ninth. And victim number 10 was Mukuro.
should make you immediately suspicious. But according to the lights in the biolab, only 9 people were being stored there.
You're saying a dead body just up and disappeared?
The mastermind destroyed one of the bodies to get rid of evidence.
But if they wanted to do that, they would have destroyed Mukuro's body, since they actually killed her. And yet, her body was left alone.
Then, whose body disappeared?
It may very well be that none of them disappeared. If that's true, then why doesn't the body count match? Including Monokuma's executions, there have apparently been 10 deaths, but there were only 9 bodies. That's the point I'm trying to make.
I'm completely lost. How can the number of victims be less than the number of murders?
The reason there are less bodies than murderers, the explanation for more murders than victims. Why is that? What would it take for that to make sense? Only 9 murders took place. Mastermind destroyed a body, the same person was killed twice. Here's that one.
Yeah, that's... Really?
I mean, that one's not incorrect.
It's not. It's because I wouldn't say killed twice.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Shoot!
It's like, there were only 9 murders that happened the first...
Yeah,
at the actual murdering someone point of view.
I got it! What about
I guess that'd just be easier to explain to the people with bad logic that are in the trial, i.e. Hiro, Toko, Hina.
Killed twice?
Officially, 10 murders have been
Can you
committed
do that?
so
Can you
far,
explode twice?
but one of the victims may have been
Toko,
murdered
here's another bomb.
and then murdered again.
Test this theory.
Let's begin dismantling the bomb.
If that's the case, there could have been 10 killings, but still only 9 victims, right?
Technically, you're right, I guess. Still, something like that
Could easily have happened. No, it is what happened.
Sounds like you're already convinced. Then can you tell us who was killed twice?
It was you!
Bukuro, of course.
Stupid!
Before she was killed
Stupid,
as
stupid,
Bukuro
stupid.
Usaba, she was killed as someone
I'd like to
else.
think that, like, Junko's there, and little Monokuma has one of those, like, the water tattoos just on her hand.
Yeah.
With his little paw just holding the damn cloth, just like, come on!
Someone walks in on him and he just like runs away in his little bare feet.
That's why you had to cover the body with the tarp so it wouldn't get wet. It would have made the tattoo vanish.
Oh.
I just love him just sitting just very gently, just like, come on!
No.
Please let it be even!
It slips and it makes a mistake and he just starts swearing as he waddles off.
Because you'd think that would be a dumb freaking place to have a tattoo of this organization, too.
Yeah.
Besides, who could that someone else?
But it, like, if you were doing a murder investigation, it's the only thing you could see.
All you have to do is look at those bodily injuries of hers, and that will become obvious.
Nothing's gonna become obvious.
Pretty freaking obvious. It's like, oh, she had multiple wounds. Oh, so it was Junko.
Yeah, like they'll just let us make that jump.
I know. We've got 20 minutes to convince them of the idea that it could be someone else.
Someone else that Mukuro was killed at. Was it
Oh, there's a really funny line in here in a second.
Junko
Junko!
Enoshima,
I know this one.
Leon Kuwata, Chihiro Fujisaki, Mondo Owada,
Oh, wow.
Kiyotaka Ishimaru, Hifumi Yamada, Celestia Lu, whatever.
Celestial Lou, whatever.
That was cute.
No. There's no way anyone was murdered twice.
Would you do murdered twice at Junko?
Who is this someone
That depends on if you want the answer or not.
Sayaka, my
It is Junko.
Enoshima, Leon.
What?
Leon got in the way!
God damn you, Leon.
Failed as my bro another time.
Yeah, there's that one. She.
She,
Who is this? Who was it? Junko, Leon, Chihiro, Mondo, Kiyotaki, unique celestial, or maybe... No, there's
It's a shame the loot whatever doesn't get sped up real well.
Who is this? Who was it first? Junko Enoshima? No, it's wrong.
Wait.
And I'm about to break.
Junko, wasn't her fatal injury pretty similar to Mukuro's?
Yeah, considering you all saw it firsthand.
The spear of Gunyear. And an upskirt. Thanks for that game.
Remember what happened to her?
At least it's only a black hole there.
She was impaled by a bunch of spears all over her body.
Like on that shot, she just looks mildly annoyed by the fact she got impaled repeatedly.
Yeah.
Like, oh well, that's unfortunate.
She's like, don't mess up my outfit.
Yes, and those are the only fatal injuries that match up. That explains why those two bodies are actually one and the same.
So let me see if I have this straight.
More upskirts.
Junko, or someone going by that name, was stabbed to death with multiple spears. Then her body was kept in the biolab for however long before being dragged out again. Only this time, it was presented as the corpse of one Mukuro Ikusaba.
It all matches up, right? Those wounds Junko suffered could easily be these same injuries.
It's really true? Mukuro and Junko are the same person?
It's not at all what that means, but okay.
So then, what is
Getting warmer, but still wrong.
It means that there haven't been 10 victims, but 9, which also means that among the people we thought were dead, one is still alive.
And that's the true identity of the mastermind?
Who is it? Who's behind all this?
We already know the answer to that. It's Mukuro. She's still alive. She took Yugo's body and made it look like she was the one who died. So Mukuro is still alive.
I'd love if Hiro was the mastermind, and to explain Hiro being the mastermind, it's just Mukuro here the whole time, and like with a wig that looks like
Yes.
the very last time you see Hiro's face, it's really obvious, but until then you have no clue.
Total silence? Then I must be right.
Also, thank you for the reset with the Twitch Prime. I don't know why I didn't hear that noise go off at all, but for whatever reason it did not.
Mukuro alive? The one that's still alive is Mukuro? But can we really believe that? No, there's no way. There's no way Mukuro Kusaba is still alive. Why? We haven't found her body.
Was she eaten by the plants?
Eaten by that fish in the picture that Byakuya presented.
The body
Do you think she's still alive, Fran?
Yes.
wasn't Mukuro. Then she's still alive? That's right.
Doing that.
She made it look like Jugo's body was her. So the mastermind's true identity is Mukuro.
What do you say, Monokuma? Do you give up?
There we go.
That's your bullet.
Irrefutable logic.
For that to be true, that could have been her body we found in the garden. That couldn't have been her body we found in the garden. Is that really possible?
The body we found in the garden.
Also, remember you still have your lifeline since you're at half a heart.
Yeah, I'm gonna use that.
Do you want what to shoot at, what to shoot with, or both?
She made it look
What
like
to shoot at?
What to shoot at? You need to shoot at.
the mastermind's true identity.
I'm gonna let this play through to make sure I've got the
What do you
right.
say, Monokuma? Do you give up?
No, it's not that.
You're gonna accidentally throw that.
I'll go ahead and tell you right now, it is not an absorb bullet.
Okay.
There are no more absorb bullets for the rest of the trial.
It wasn't Mukuro.
Yeah, that wasn't Mukuro is what you're shooting at. That one right there.
And she's still alive? That's right. She made it look like Jugo's body was her.
I thought that would help clear up what I would shoot it with, but it did not at all.
What do you say, Monokuma?
Remember, you can always look through the individual pieces as well.
Okay, I have number 5.
You had her profile. And then fatal injury. Would it be that? Because you could compare the measurements and everything? Because confirm that the corpse matches these characteristics?
Yeah, I think. This fatal injury would appear to be the collection of wounds covering her body.
Collection of names. Just picked them up at the beach, hardware store. Just got around.
Because I guess, because it's like, well, they match, and then it's like, well, Junko matched too.
Yeah.
No, the body we found in the garden was Mukuro. That's one thing we can be sure of.
Is Junko the ultimate?
The body's appearance and measurements are consistent with her records. Right, Kyoko?
Even though we've given you the blurriest picture possible of her records.
97 pounds. Her vitals were 31, 21, 32.
I like that those are called vitals.
Yeah.
I guess.
Everything in her profile is consistent with
Wonder
that
if that's
corpse.
just a translation thing.
Could be.
And then there's the matter of the Fenrir tattoo. So there's no question it's
I
her.
remember seeing in the beta somewhere they were talking about, like, using blood type and it being really important because in Japanese culture it is an important thing what blood type you have, but they never did do that.
Yeah.
Or it got changed or something. I don't remember the specifics though. I'd send you the video on that, but it unfortunately has spoilers for all 3 games, so would not do you much good. I got spoiled in a little bit of DR2 by watching that because I thought it was just the first game.
Someone's made it look like they've died, but they're actually still alive. There's only one person it could be.
It was me!
Yeah.
Is Junko still?
Maybe she is.
Because that was weird how it's like she was the only one that it was like from the...
Yeah.
Here's my answer.
Because could they have switched bodies in
Junko
reverse
is still
order?
alive. It's the only
Oh, no.
possibility.
I heard it after it was out, and then it's like, oh god.
Sure about that.
Like, that sounded better in my...
I admit, since
There was
Mukuro
logic.
is undoubtedly dead, Junko does seem to be the only other explanation.
More upskirts.
Maybe that's why she looks just irritated.
This is the new Luchador one where he's like hovering over not Mukuro's bed, over Makoto's bed. We'll just see this like 83 times.
If Junko were still alive, the death we saw would have to have been some kind of charade. But you yourself confirmed she was dead, did you not?
Now that you mention it, gently placed my hand on Junko's lifeless body. I touched her wrist to check for a pulse, like they do in movies and stuff, but she really is dead. If there wasn't anything else to say, she was gone. I did check, absolutely, and I can say for sure.
Was dead. There's no question.
Well, good thing you're still alive because then no one else would have been able to confirm it.
Yeah.
So, the idea that she's still alive.
It must be wrong.
Then you're withdrawing your previous statement?
I know you gave it your best shot, but too bad. I guess your conclusion was a dud.
That was also like first episode too, and it was she was never talked about again because it was the figuring out Sayaka.
You haven't given up already, have you, Makoto?
Like, why don't you do something?
Of course not.
No.
There's no way I'd give up that easy.
That's all well and good. But how do you intend to solve the problem standing in your way?
I don't know, I give up.
Absolutely die. Mukuro absolutely died.
Then both of them are dead, right? There can't be any kind of survivor story.
I think we need to look at this from the opposite direction.
Huh? The opposite direction?
Let's assume Junko is still alive. If so, how could she have survived?
How could Junko have survived? Checked her, she was dead, I'm sure. Still, if she were alive somehow, could it be that Junko's not the one that
Was
died?
it her being like pretending to be Junko?
It wasn't Junko, but somebody else entirely. Maybe she used some sort of trick.
Is that why her face is covered up in all of those?
Hangman's Gambit.
Maybe it's not. It was never Junko to
Yeah,
begin
maybe it
with.
was Mukuro from the beginning.
Yeah.
Because that's why they never showed her face, because it'd be like, hey, that ain't Junko. Or not the Junko that they know. Or if they...
They're giving you a lot of L's for some reason.
Come on. Oh, duh.
They do not want to give it to you.
I know, like, jeez.
Ah!
Ew. What? It wasn't I? Replica?
No, that was one letter too few. Because you had one more letter after that A if it had been replica.
Oh.
Hero.
Oh, is it?
I refuse to
Oh,
give
it's
up
like
yet.
replaced.
I think so. I didn't actually
Don't worry about it. So they were giving you all the things you needed.
That was why I didn't say anything, because it's like, oh yeah, you gotta figure it out. I guess it's always the same letters they give you as well.
Yeah, now they're much more fair to you, aren't they?
Oh, replaced.
Yeah. There's the E. Several E's. Oh my god, they
Whoa.
want to give you those E's. What are you doing?
Oh, I keep thinking replica.
Here.
That is not how you spell replica.
I know.
Now I understand. That's it. What if she switched places with someone else?
Switched places?
That's right. Before the spears could kill her, she got someone to take her place. Specifically, Mukuro Ikusaba.
Then
Because
that would
voice
make
kept getting
Mukuro
higher and higher there.
showed up later.
Which is why the body's height and weight and everything match Mukuro's profile,
Like, is that
right?
also why they had to mess up the face?
I don't know anything about this switching places thing. That had to be Junko who got stabbed to death, right?
Yeah. You're saying they switched? When could they even have done that? Right when she
During the upskirt, when we were all distracted.
Like she used some kind of ninja replacement technique?
Did she use Shadow Clone Jutsu?
There's just no way they could have switched like that. So maybe the whole idea is wrong.
There has to be some way. I need to figure out how to explain they could have switched. So death, they switched after death, they switched at the beginning.
They switched after death.
Yes, that's clearly how that
Two
works.
of them, they had switched places from the very beginning.
From the beginning?
Yes, from the moment we first met. If that's when they switched, then they wouldn't have had to switch at the moment of death, right? After all, the one we saw at that point would have already been Mukuro.
Hold on. So, you're saying the Junko we first met was actually Mukuro all along?
That hair.
We met her? I had like a normal conversation with her.
When we first met, none of us knew who anyone else was. So Mukuro could have simply told us her name was Junko, and we never would have known the difference. That would easily allow the two of them to switch places from the very beginning.
Wait, but Mukuro had a tattoo on the back of her hand, right? Junko never had any tattoo like that, did she?
She could have hidden it with foundation or something like that.
That's
If she
true.
did, it likely melted away in the explosion, exposing the tattoo after
Or when
the
you threw
body
the
was
water
extinguished.
on her.
Yeah.
Because then the top half
Or
would be
the
wet.
fake nails found on the hands of Mukuro's body. They were the same fake red nails she was wearing when we all met for the first time.
But if she really did use foundation, correct. You
Even if there was no tattoo on her hand, I couldn't say for certain it wasn't Mukuro. So I'm glad nobody noticed that glaring hole when we were trying to figure out who attacked Makoto. But too bad for you, Monokuma. You can't deny it anymore.
Wait, so this whole thing was a setup from the very beginning?
If that's true, it was quite an elaborate plan to be sure, making it look like Mukuro was Junko.
The reason such an elaborate plan was possible is because the two of them were working together.
So Mukuro, the ultimate despair, teamed up with someone like her. In other words, it would be fair to say that Junko herself was also the ultimate despair.
What's wrong? Lost the will to fight back?
I think he's just afraid. Afraid? What's that mean, afraid? Fear is only possible where hope is possible. I only have despair, so fear is an alien concept to me.
And why haven't you been saying anything?
Because it's a bunch of nonsense. Junko's my secret identity? As if.
Then why did you try and protect Junko's real identity?
I tried to protect her identity? When did I do that?
Still refuses to admit it, but he can try to deceive us all he wants. It doesn't matter, because I've already figured it out. He tried to hide Junko's identity, and not just once, but twice. The first time was during our latest investigation. What?
The latest investigation.
Yeah.
So, what was not showing, hiding Junko's identity?
Can't remember. Oh, the group photos. Nope.
Shoot!
So that is it not for the latest investigation?
It is for the latest one. This might require a bit of memory, though.
Oh, it cut out.
Oh,
That's when the DVD cut
yeah.
out.
I got it! While I was in the AV room,
Oh, so he
watching
never
the
saw
DVD
Junko's
of our
tape.
interviews with the headmaster.
It wasn't just the monitor, the DVD player itself had apparently turned off. Which of course meant the DVD wasn't playing anymore. What the heck just happened?
Monokuma was just in the corner chewing on one of the cords.
Oopsie, looks like it broke. Out of service. What? It just happened to break just now? Now then, when doesn't matter. Failure can strike at any time. That's what failure is, right?
You made sure I couldn't finish watching the video. And the reason you did that is because you didn't want me to see the real Junko, did you?
Oh, yeah! If everyone was in that video, of course Junko would have had to show up.
And if Makoto saw the real Junko, it would have been totally obvious that the Junko we met was an imposter.
That whole power outage thing was just a fluke.
No, it wasn't a fluke. The mastermind definitely orchestrated that power outage. And that's not the only thing they tried to hide. It's not the only time they tried to hide Junko's identity. The mastermind tried to cover up one other piece of evidence. I've got to reveal that. Moment of truth. Again?
Oh, is this where group photo comes in? So it's two that could have worked, but they wanted a really specific one.
Which is weird, because like sometimes they'll let you present stuff in whatever order you want, like what they did in Trial 3 with the tarp and the dolly. Where it doesn't matter what order you present those when they first come up.
What do you want? Are you sure about this? You're getting all riled up. That's impossible.
How do you know I'm Junko? You're standing where Junko was.
No, Junko was to the right of Kyoko. Yeah.
That's impossible.
This should prove it.
It takes so long to like actually load the bullet and fire it.
Yeah. Remember, you're using the upgraded rate of fire too because of Leon's
The
skill.
only thing you tried to cover up. You did the same thing with this group photo.
Oh.
I noticed it just a little while ago. When we were all comparing the photos we got. In all the photos, there's a certain similarity. An unusual circumstance.
What's so unusual about them?
Unusual circumstance common to all these pictures. Yeah, that's enough time to figure it out.
Yep.
Yeah. It's like, hope you were looking earlier.
The unusual circumstance is Makuro's face.
The fact that there was a giant fucking fish in the pool.
Yeah.
What's up with that, man?
Junko's face. The one thing common to every single photo is that you can't see her face.
That's still my favorite one. Taka just completely fucking up the shot.
Be titted in every single picture, don't you think? And on top of that, in this photo, you can see that Mukuro is clearly visible. So in other words, at that point, the two of them hadn't switched yet. With all that in mind, there's no doubt that the girl...
Yeah, because look at Mukuro's face.
Yeah, she could have just done makeup and hair.
Which is why you had to have pictures that didn't show her face. Because if we could have seen her face, then it would have clearly revealed that the Junko in the pictures wasn't the Junko that we knew.
Xanadu!
I believe everything Makoto said is true. Junko and Mukuro switched places before we met either of them.
You never watched Danny Phantom, did you?
Some of it.
Do you remember the teacher that Danny has every time he like goes to swear, he replaces it with a book title?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it reminded me of. Moby Dick!
Is still alive.
And she's the one behind this whole murderous situation. This killing game. She's the true mastermind and the ultimate despair.
Xanadu times 2!
With this, the identity and the crimes of the mastermind have been exposed.
No, wait! Hold on!
Don't bother trying to deny it. There's no more room for debate. You don't have anywhere left to run. I'll prove everything. Right now.
Okay.
You've only got 24 minutes, so make sure you use your
Shoot.
time wisely.
What was the identity of the ultimate fashionista who I met in the main hall?
That knife.
Yeah. A knife!
A thing of fire. 2 doors.
Dude, it'd be nice if there was like a thing to explain this. Explain what that was.
I guess like the appearance versus like the real person behind the appearance.
Where did the master keep Makuro's body? I think that was it. That doesn't quite fit, does it? No,
No, it fits.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, the other tarp one's the dummy panel. That's from case 3.
Yeah, I noticed
was
that.
Taka's.
The mastermind attacked me with something. What was it?
It was those doors.
A knife!
No!
When the mastermind attacked me, who was it that stopped them? It's like, really?
Yeah.
Which-
I would say that one. It's like her like finding the person and
Yeah.
yeah. Because the other one might go to
After the surprise attack failed, the mastermind fled to my room.
fled my room.
Fled my room. Like, wait,
It's like
what?
they came back. Maybe it was the other one, or is that one? Is like I really can't see what's happening. In
I
that
know.
Picture.
I think they might be switched.
Maybe. No, because it's.
Because that's like her seeing it. And wait, where'd the other one go?
That might be him like trying to run out the door, maybe?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, but I don't know.
I think that one's her walking in. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah,
I think you have it right.
because with that one, the masked person is more animated
Yeah.
in this one.
Usually the more animated they are, it tries to symbolize that they're in motion, so that would be him leaving rather than
Good for
her.
that one,
showing
or
up.
is it?
What did the mastermind do with the mask after they took it off? Put it on Junko.
Freaking genocide.
What was the condition of the dead body when I first found it in the garden?
Not gross. What was the condition after Toko messed things up? Super gross.
Then we had to get the top half wet.
Somehow keep the bottom half dry.
Here's exactly what happened.
How?
We met the ultimate fashionista.
Hi, this is my character. She is all boobs. We're not even going to show the top half of her face.
Boobs and short skirt.
Yeah. Thanks for that game.
And it's working for Makoto.
The girl we saw before us was actually the 16th student who had taken Junko's place. And that girl's name was Mukuro Ikusawa.
And then she
It
died.
wasn't long before she died at the hands of Monokuma. In other words, the mastermind, Junko and Oshima.
That was a very short act. It
Yes.
was 1 page
The
long.
body was kept in a biolab, which had been converted into a morgue. Until Junko decided to put her body to use. Junko dragged the body out of the biolab, using a tarp to carry her to the garden. She fabricated the murder to try and bring Kyoko, who proved to be one big thorn in her side.
It's a lot of hair she had to get in there.
She wanted us all to think Mukuro was still alive and hiding somewhere inside the school.
Hi!
So she put on a mask and then attacked me. After making sure
I did nothing to
removed
help.
the mask,
I just
she left the
watched.
room. Then she put the same mask on Mukuro's
That
body.
face is creepy.
This was all to make us think the person who attacked me and the corpse were one and the same. She wanted us to believe the murder had only recently taken place.
It gets funnier every time.
Finally, by strapping a bomb to the body, she was able to destroy any remaining evidence. She needed to hide the body's true identity. She had to make sure we didn't find out it was actually the same person we'd met in the beginning. This is the truth behind Mukuro's murder.
Surprised it didn't
The
ruin
one
the body
who carried it
further.
all out
Yeah,
was
you'd
the
think
true
it was a
master.
bomb.
The one controlling Monokuma.
And that's what's weird too, is it's like, oh, because it was like threatened who was it that someone got violent or was about to and he started ticking?
Yeah,
It's
that's
like,
Mondo.
So apparently that doesn't kill someone, or was it only crazy that it didn't kill?
It made it seem like the fire did more damage, like after the bomb to the body, than the bomb itself did to the body.
I don't understand why she needed to.
Switch?
Yeah.
They were working together.
Yeah, but why would you need to, like, switch identities?
I think they'd say something about why. I don't remember what it is though. Also, the cosplay I ran into was Junko. That's why I didn't show you the picture of it. Because you'd be like, why would you cosplay like a one-act character that died so quickly? It would have been too weird.
I probably wouldn't have thought anything of it.
Yeah, you
So I
just be
guess
like,
they were
oh,
Junko.
Junko. I think it's more so that it's like she also has a very striking look that looks very
True.
cosplay fun.
What are you broke again?
You can't get out of this, so don't even try.
Unless Junko's on the way.
It's not like you're an endangered species or something. How long do you plan
That depends on what type of bear you're referring to.
Yeah.
Give up, Junko. The game's over.
Over?
Let me guess, just getting started.
Did you really think the story would end once we reached the climax of the case? Wrong! There's still plenty more to go!
Alright, what does Junko look like?
Yep, the tie.
We've been waiting so very long for peasants like you to appear. If you swear your fealty to us, we will reward you with half of the entire world.
That's a reference to Dragon Quest.
We will grant you honor, status, and some of our home cooking. Have you made your choice? Will you serve under us?
Doesn't matter what you answer here, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Oh, did you think I was being serious? Sorry, I was just messing with you. It's been so long since I've had an audience. Even I'm not sure what kind of role I'm supposed to play.
This is the mastermind? She's the real Junko?
Anyway, looks like I've finally been set free. Having to play Monokuma all the time, day after day. It was like I was stuck in purgatory. Or like a slow suicide. I get bored so easy, you know?
Maybe that's why I was thinking she didn't have that money. Because I
Yeah.
think I've just seen this picture.
Could be.
I think I've seen like Yaya Han as her.
Huh?
Oh, yeah.
What about my face? What's wrong with my beautiful face? People have told me I'm cuter than 100 chihuahuas combined.
It's not a compliment.
No, it's not. Chihuahuas are ugly.
No, I do remember seeing it. I'm sure I've seen her too somewhere. It was definitely before I got to the school. And this was in the first day in the main hall? I don't know.
Do you want the answer?
Sure.
Before arriving at school, pictures of her are on magazines.
Yeah, I thought that was weird that we had pictures of our magazines, but...
They actually do explain that one.
You were on it.
Wow, you have a pretty good memory. I guess that's why you made it.
If they look identical, why did they have to hide it?
They don't. Not completely.
Then what you told me in the main hall when this all began.
Tons of magazine covers, but I feel like that doesn't quite match up to reality. Huh? Oh, you're talking about my
I guess I
cover
should probably be
photos.
voicing Junko, but I don't remember the voice I did for her.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, are you talking about my cover photos and junk? Well, of course, those are totally photoshopped.
The smile. Photoshopped?
Yeah, you know, edited to hell and back with, like, computers and junk.
So, so they aren't real.
Sometimes a little lie is necessary to keep things moving along. Would you agree?
That
I'm
explains
very
why
glad
she
we
didn't
don't have
quite
to deal
seem
with that
insane.
British thing.
If she was
No, basically, I don't think they ever mention it in this game, but I think they mention it in one of the spin-off games. The reason why her voice keeps changing is she just keeps getting bored with her personalities. Like, she's just really bored. That's why she's got, like, the one where she acts, like, kind of melancholy, the one where she's British. She has a couple other ones, too, in this game.
And me. And Mukuro is Mukuro. She tried her best. But there's just no way she could have passed as the ultimate fashionista. Two people can never become one as long as the walls of mind and body exist. Not even if they're twins.
Twins?
I know, it's such a cliche, right? I'm almost embarrassed to admit it. So basically, Mukuro and I had your stereotypical twin relationship. The older sister, tough and proud. That was Mukuro.
Oh yeah, and in free time events, like the first set of free time events you get where Junko's actually still alive, one of the things that Junko, which is actually Mukuro, likes is the army ration. The ultimate soldier. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Me! Junko fucking Enoshima!
This is my favorite version of her. I just like that pose.
We were the Despair Sisters, aka the Ultimate Despair!
She's a totally different person now.
Like I said,
Stop taking my bit.
Genocide versus Junko. I'd watch that.
You're twins. Why do you have different last names? Oh, that again? You have any idea how many times people ask me that shit? Maybe it's you to your dumbass, but it forced me to tears. Answering the same questions over and over? Just make up whatever answer you want. I don't give a shit. The truth's fucking lame anyway.
But if she was your twin, that means you killed your own sister?
And for reasons deeper and darker than the ocean. Ha! That's it!
Well, I suppose I'd better explain. For my plan to work, someone had to be able to control the killing game from behind the scenes. The so-called
She looks like Adrian Andrews in that shot, which is a character from Phoenix Wright that you guys probably haven't run into yet. I think she's in the second game.
But after looking at the situation, I determined it would be impossible for Mukuro to perform such duties. Because naturally, she turned out to be the letdown of the family, leaving me behind to run off and join some band of mercenaries. Such a disappointment. So, I decided to play the role of director and have her join the rest of you in your school life. I could have let her work alongside me, but she would have been useless to me that way. Besides, 15 students seemed like a solid number to start with. Of course, the fact that she was the ultimate soldier posed something of a problem. She had what I call the 3 atrocities. Atrociously rank, atrociously filthy, atrociously repulsive. It was atrociously clear just how out of touch she was with the rest of society. Meanwhile, my ultimate fashionista status has an undeniable appeal that I didn't want to go to waste.
And that's why you switched identities?
Sadly, her inability to match my personality was even greater than I had calculated. It was a lost cause. She was nothing more than a bit player, an extra unworthy of mine. Being the utter disappointment that she was, anyone would have expected her to get killed off right away, which is precisely why I killed her, to meet everyone's expectations.
Can't be your only reason, can it?
Well, no, of course not. I also did it to avoid becoming bored.
I've never been a stickler for following a plan to the letter.
Here's April May, again from Phoenix Wright.
If I planned everything out and knew just what was gonna happen, that'd be so boring. So I changed things just a bit and decided to use Mukuro to make a little point.
In other words, Mukuro's death was a one-sided, premeditated act of betrayal, just as I suspected. When Mukuro was killed, she must have been as surprised as anybody else.
So you figured it out? Well, you're right. There's no way Mukuro could have pulled off such a convincing performance. But she did teach you all a very valuable lesson, don't you think?
You talk like that. You sacrificed your own sister. How does that not even bother you?
What? I sacrificed her? That's what's got you so hot under the collar? Jeez, misunderstandings sure are scary. We were the ultimate despair, you know? So we never had any kind of hope or expectations. No, I felt despair as long as I can remember. Like I never should have been born at all. When I was born, I cried tears of total despair. So that's why for us, it's not a big deal whether we die or kill. We're just those kinds of people. We can do anything. We've always been filled with despair. So when we do something,
You just murdered your own sister?
It's fine, all you're missing is basically a different version of YOLO.
That's not true at all. We were twins. How did I notice that? That's why it
Those mushrooms.
excited.
Hopefully she's not playing Earthbound.
That act is filled with so much despair. You can't help but put a super in front of it. It's like super despair. No, more than that. Super.
Hey, Monokuma.
The
just feels so good.
What the hell is wrong with you?
And my sister too. In that moment of death, I think she must have felt that despair. After all, to be murdered by your own sister, and only as an example to someone else, she must have died feeling such excruciating hopelessness. I'm so jealous of her. Super jealous.
I knew you couldn't be just some ordinary person. You're some kind of abnormality.
Turning your own despair into some kind of fetish. Abnormality doesn't even begin to describe it.
Like, Genocide Jill is crazy for sure, but this is a whole nother level of nuts.
You're saying I don't compare to some lowly beast that can only kill the weak, right? So I'm hopelessly attractive, hopelessly brilliant, hopelessly athletic. I'm the hopelessly perfect ultimate human.
No, I don't think there's anything perfect about anything you just said.
Yeah, Master's way more perfect. Because on top of everything else, he's got that noble blood.
Don't you mean that noble blood?
What did you just say? What do you mean by that?
You still haven't figured that part out yet? Man, you guys are so slow! You haven't even solved all the mysteries, and yet here you are, yapping away!
Are you talking about our memories?
You've already solved this.
She sounds like
mystery,
Rebecca
right?
Hawkins from
I'm
Yu-Gi-Oh!
the killer, so how about the next one? Maybe you should solve
Might be.
the riddle of your missing memories. Then you can start floating.
Damn
Not
straight.
gonna look that up.
That's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to solve all these mysteries.
Then glow.
They glow hard.
We'll have our victory.
I like how you called out the freaking tie.
Wait.
Alright, then let's just get straight to the point. What memories did you steal from us?
When the group pictures were taken, and those interviews, it must mean... I got it! It must have something to do with our entrancing exams.
No fair! At least give us a hint!
Your brains are like sponges, all drippy and leaky. I already gave you a hint before. All the memories you lost share something in common with a few other things. Do you recall?
Thinking back to what Monokuma told us, the memories that were stolen from us, and what they must be related to. Founding of Hope Peak Academy, the class trials, the motives Monokuma came up with. That's what he said earlier, right? The motives?
Maybe.
Helpful, Kate. Helpful.
I got it.
Bingo.
You're talking about
Well, I
the
didn't
motives
want
you
to say
provided
it
to try
and
and
get it
get us
wrong.
to kill each other, right?
So you do remember after all. Well, I would hope you wouldn't forget something so important. It was stupid of me to even ask. I apologize from the bottom of my heart for my bad manners. So then, let me ask you another question. Did you notice that each motive I presented you had a specific theme to it?
Theme?
Yep, you got it. So that's my question to you all. When Sayaka was murdered, what was the theme of the motive I presented?
The theme of the motive Monokuma gave us for the first murder. Monokuma gave us those DVDs. My DVD was footage of my family. Sayaka's was her and her friends. They had a dream they had all shared. So for the first murder, the motive we were given was human connection, love triangles, or international relations. International relations!
Just really care about the EU.
I got it. The driving force behind the motive you presented us with at that point was human connections.
Ding, ding, ding. You got it. Remember those DVDs I gave you
The
guys?
voice for Jinko also voices Sully from Awakening.
Nice.
She's also fucking Boruto.
Oh, wow.
That's amazing. That's
I love just this voice. It's like, I know it's not Boruto, but it's like, it makes me think of Naruto just, Believe it.
Yep.
Believe it.
Each video showed the total destruction of your most important relationships. For example, your family. For example, your friends.
For example,
Everyone
some
saw those
stupid dojo.
relationships and showed you the results.
Yeah, I guess she's not. Well, it could be the other voice actor.
Kickstart your urge to kill. But
She's
still,
also one of the Sailor Moon
what
characters.
a cool thing to do.
You're the one that did it.
Yes, well, I'm perfectly happy to accept your disapproval.
Okay, time for the next question. So, what was the theme for the second motive?
Second motive, the motive's theme was... that's when we got those weird envelopes from Monokuma. Mine mentioned how I used to wet the bed. So the theme that time was... The bottom half was wet that time.
Ew.
The payout. The meaning of life. I guess it was the past.
Yeah.
I got it.
Yep.
Yeah, your embarrassing secrets.
Our past, right?
Which is a bit of a damn shame when you think about it, because if it was being broadcast to the world, then there wasn't much point in killing someone to protect the secret.
That's true.
Oh, poor Mondo!
He did that for nothing.
And the whole reason Mondo did what he did was to protect his secret.
So, how long do you plan on dragging this out?
Relax, relax. Okay, on to the next question. So, what was the motive for the third murder?
The theme for the third murder was... The reason Celeste turned to murder was... She wanted to buy a European castle and live there with a bunch of handsome men.
She wanted to reverse harem. That's what she wanted.
Yes. So that time, the motive for murder was... Greed.
Money!
I got it. It was money, wasn't it? Greed.
Seek and destroy! Hell yeah, you got it again! Goddamn straight it was money! Celeste killed Fumi and Taka for a little personal gain. Her greed led to all kinds
Man, she probably
of
killed
death.
Hawk for that. She probably killed the Fumi because she didn't like him.
Yeah.
What's the point of all this? Why are you making us go through this case by case?
Don't worry, sweet cheeks. Just one more to go. Now, can you tell me the motive behind crazy-ass Sakura's crazy-ass death?
The motive in the case of Sakura's death was... What was it that made Sakura decide to kill herself? It had to do with Monokuma exposing Sakura's secret. So the theme of that motive in the fourth case was... Betrayal.
I got it.
I got it!
In her case, it was betrayal.
Precisely. You
She
see,
did some voices for, additional voices for Borderlands the pre-sequel as well.
Ooh, which ones?
Dr... I'm gonna scroll back up to it now. I think it was like Hada, or... Oh no, Dr. Spara.
Yeah.
And then Ghostly Apparition. No idea what that refers to, though.
Honestly, me neither.
once I revealed
It just has a
Sakura's
picture of, like,
betrayal, that led
space,
to
so
everything that came
not even anything to
afterwards.
go on there.
Anyway, it looks like you answered all of my questions correctly. Oh, painfully delightful.
I love the mushrooms.
Yeah, they're cute.
What's the point? What meaning
Ellie,
is
Sam
there
Matthews,
to your
and
questions
Aubrey
now?
in Borderlands 2.
See that again?
Voices Ellie... Damn it, it crashed.
Oh, Ellie? Oh, I don't like
Ellie is
You don't like Ellie to begin with.
I'll have to wait for that to come back.
Relationships? Secrets? Money? Betrayal?
There's two different voices that Jinko has, probably for the alternate personalities. The second one has a lot of shit. Sam Matthews is the other one, and then Aubrey Callahan the third.
Yeah.
Those are the three from Borderlands 2.
I think those were DLC characters. I remember the other one. Ellie. I don't like Ellie. She's in 3. Ugh.
Of course, those aren't the only motives that exist in this world.
Like, she's just like the dopiest ass face in this one.
No.
In fact, there are as many reasons to kill as there are people on Earth. They compel humans to kill each other, bringing despair to the world. This is what we refer to as the seed of despair.
Seed of despair?
Just as water, air, and food promote growth growth in living things, the seed of despair also needs nourishment. And that nourishment is hope. Despair can grow only in the presence of hope. Two sides of the same coin, divided by a razor-thin line. Such is hope and despair.
How much longer is this stupid speech of yours? Weren't we discussing our missing memories? Why are you trying to change the subject?
If you would listen, you would see I'm not changing the subject. We are discussing your memories. What I'm trying to say is, the seed of despair is closely tied to your own memories.
How so?
You see, by taking away your memories, I gave you hope. Of course, that hope merely existed to be consumed by despair.
How can taking away someone's memories give them hope?
And plus, you haven't given us any hope anyway.
Is that so? All you've been able to think about during your time here is how to escape, right? The mere fact that that's what you want proves I gave you hope.
What are you talking about?
If none of you wanted to escape this school, the killings never would have taken place. That is why we took your memories, so that you would have the desire to leave.
The only reason we want to leave is because we took our memories. Is that what you're saying?
Correctamundo!
Which means if we did have our memories, then we wouldn't want to leave. Do I understand that right?
What? Why the hell would having our memories make us not want to leave?
A most troubling thought, isn't it?
Why didn't you make me forget my crippling debt?
More distress, more despair. I put so much effort into creating hope in order to feed your despair and make it grow. So, just like Crazy Eddie slashing his prices and passing the savings on to you, let me give you a hint.
Crazy Eddie.
Really? Then hurry up and tell us. Okie dokie. Like they say, seeing is believing. I'd like for you to see the outside world.
The outside world?
You mean the world beyond the school walls?
That's why I said outside.
Now are you interested in what I have to say? Wanna see what's out there? I wanna see too. See your faces sink into despair. Now then, open sesame! Behold, the world beyond the school walls! This is the outside world you've all been so anxious to claw your way back into.
What?
The cover's face.
Dangerous. The world has grown so very dangerous. That's what this means.
What are you talking about? None of this makes any sense.
What am I looking at?
From a movie or something. Right?
The Fast and the Furious 29.
All of you should recognize it.
Or Transformers 38, take your pick.
We should recognize it? What about it should we recognize? This whole thing is insane.
Is locked away within the memories that were taken from you. If you can't remember, please just try. Do your best to try and recall.
Better kick your brain in the ass, because it's up to that brain lump whether you live or die. I don't remember ain't a fucking excuse no more. Because now it's time for the final last trial.
Jimmy So Jack's memory. Photo of kick on the headmaster.
I think in group photo it's referring to the one that Makoto got.
Want us to remember or whatever, but when it comes to that crazy confusing video you showed us, I don't understand a damn thing.
What's the meaning of the footage we saw? Is this another one of your practical jokes?
I mean, you're telling us to remember, but what am I supposed to be remembering? Nobody can remember anything. This is the end for all of us. What other choice do we have?
Can't remember. Is it all over? I mean, how can she show me something so completely incomprehensible and then just say to remember? Every single one of us has lost our memory. It really is hopeless after all. No, wait. There's a chance that she hasn't forgotten.
Come on, bitches! Remember or die!
Genocide Jack!
Yeah, Genocide Jack will save us all. Ironically.
When it comes to that crazy, confusing video you showed us, I don't understand a damn thing.
What's the meaning of the footage we saw?
And they actually gave you a small amount of time for this one, compared to what you normally get.
You're telling us to remember, but what am I supposed to be remembering? No remembering.
Pepper!
Do you want me to just let it out?
She might remember.
Who might remember?
Figure out this pronoun game.
Genocide Jack.
The real Toko.
Share certain kinds of knowledge, but their memories aren't linked, right?
I see. If their memories are separate, then even if one personality is forgotten, there's a chance
Genocide
the
Jack's a
other may
dick
still
for not
have
saying
those memories.
anything.
What do you say, Toko?
Are you telling me to swap places with her?
She's more fun anyway.
No, absolutely not. That'd be like forfeiting my entire identity.
Toko, you're the only one we can rely on.
Oh shit.
Okay, already done.
Yep.
It's me, your friendly neighborhood serial killer. Boy, she just gave in like it was nothing.
Put your tongue back in your mouth, Junko. That's my thing.
Answer immediately. Do you know anything about this video?
Huh? What video?
The video that's playing right now.
Who the hell are you?
Oh, I'm the mastermind.
Oh, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
That's enough. Just look at the stupid screen.
Aye, aye. Roger, you got it, Captain.
Oh yeah, that's the outside world. Why didn't you say anything?
There's the Monokuma Revolution.
Well, does it look familiar?
I don't have all the details, but... Of course it does!
Then you remember all the stuff it's showing?
Of course I do!
So you didn't lose your memory after all.
Then why didn't you say something earlier?
Nobody
The
asked.
questions were so bothered
Yep.
Right, oh my god, she's the worst liar in the world.
No, that would be Hero.
If you really do remember, what is it?
Huh? What's the matter, Master? Do you really not remember the tragedy?
Tragedy?
Oh no! You seriously forgot? Maybe I can help you remember.
Just nope.
What happened out there?
It was at that point Byakuya sprinted out of the courtroom.
It's still happening. But it was the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history.
What?
Why is that phrase coming up now?
And it's all because of that event.
What event?
What is? Are you serious? I'm talking about the way the world is now.
Is...
I'll tell you in 10
The world's
minutes.
been destroyed, get it?
Explain yourself. Tell us everything you know.
Copy that, Charlie. Okay, so this big, awful, tragic event, they started just calling it the tragedy, happened about a year ago.
Okay,
It
nothing
was
new
so
there.
big and so bad that even this murderous fiend was pale at the sight of it. guess you could say what happened was man-made. But it was more on the level of a worldwide natural disaster. Either way, there's no doubt that it was the biggest, most
Yeah, unfortunately, you're not going to get more info than that in any of the games, not just because of genocide being weird.
basically no time flat.
Unless it's in the spin-off that I haven't watched someone play through yet. Which is really weird, by the way. It's like an over-the-shoulder shooter? Yeah.
Come on! There wasn't a single concrete description in there!
Well, it just so happens I don't know any of the specifics. Miss Monroe saw it all play out in real time, so why don't you ask her?
No, don't bring her back.
We already did, and she didn't know anything. That's why we're asking you.
I couldn't live up to Master's expectations! To die! To die! This is the true tragedy!
She sound like the Deku, like Link is a Deku there.
Kinda did, yeah.
Doesn't matter at this exact point in time, right? The end justifies the means. Everything serves the outcome. In other words, the world has ended. That's the important thing.
How did the world just end? It's the world!
Calm down. It's okay. There's no need.
All of your artifacts have been destroyed.
Well, the good news is your dad probably also got destroyed as well, so...
Oh, come on. Now you're just being ridiculous.
Well, as long as we're being ridiculous, I have another ridiculous story to tell you. It's the story of the Tagami Corporation, which has given Byakuya's life all its meaning.
What did you say?
I'm glad to see you took the bait. You bit into it like a middle-aged secretary at an all-you-can-eat cake buffet.
What?
Hey! So, what do you think happened to the Togami family?
Wonder.
Great. Well done, peasant.
I didn't say anything yet.
I just got so fucking bored waiting, I couldn't help it! Even if you're wrong, eventually you'll figure it out, right? Till then, you're just going in circles. So, no matter what you pick, you get the right answer. Pretty innovative, don't you think?
But do you think it might be a disease? Getting bored so easy, I mean. Do you think that might be sick?
Anyway, like I was saying, Byakuya's entire lineage has been totally annihilated.
What the hell are you talking about?
I can confirm that his entire family has died. Even the distant relatives. The Tagami name has perished.
Stop with these idiotic jokes!
Stop! And said with such authority. A peasant would dare challenge us? The avatar of divine punishment? You must learn your place, peasant. You are no longer the ultimate affluent progeny.
They couldn't possibly be gone! The Togami family is destined to guide the world!
Hell, there is no world anymore, remember? It got fucked up a year ago.
Hold on. That doesn't make any sense.
Huh? I don't make sense.
There's no way that happened a year ago. I mean, we only came into school a few weeks ago. If some kind of world-ending event happened a year ago, then how do you explain the totally normal world we were living in up till then?
Have you considered the possibility that you're mistaken about that?
Mistaken?
Well, if I'm understanding you right, it sounds like you think the tragedy happened a year before you arrived here. Well, yeah. I mean, like he said, we just got here a few weeks ago. A few weeks ago? Ooh, I get it. You're saying that what happened 2 years ago actually happened more recently, right? Huh? 2 years ago? Well, I mean, you guys all started attending Hope's Peak Academy
not a whole lot of mystery to figure out when she's just telling it to us.
What the hell is this chick trying to say?
I understand why you have trouble accepting it, but in the end, you can't deny the truth. And the truth is, everything is cause and effect. Deny that, and you may as well give yourself up to God. So, you must surely understand all the hints I've given you so far, right? What are the memories I took from you?
Last year.
Answer us! Answer with all your heart and soul!
How are we supposed to answer?
I just don't know what's going on anymore.
Still, we have to answer somehow. If we don't, everything ends right here. The memories that were stolen from us. If what Junko said is true, if we first came here 2 years ago, but the rest of us only remember getting here within the last few weeks or so. So the memories she took from us...
I got it! If we accept that what you say is true, then we've all lost our memories of the last 2 years after coming to this school.
No.
No.
No matter what anyone says.
Another correct answer. Well done, peasant.
Seriously?
Oh, the tragic is explained in the anime for the third game, but not in the third game. Which is kind of weird, but okay.
You've already spent 2 full years here at home.
Tragically, I've tried to find season 2 and 3 of the anime. It is very hard, unless you want to pay money for it.
It's precisely what you've forgotten.
I don't remember the last 2 years of my life. That's not possible!
I want to think that too. I don't want to believe it. But there's nothing but our But that's nothing but our desire. I don't want to believe. I want it to be impossible. But if that's the truth, then we have to accept it.
Search your feelings. You know it to be true.
Walker notebook. Walker pocketbook.
I could never lose something like that.
We've been living here for 2 years? Hell no! That's impossible! I mean, I haven't gone to any awesome school events or anything! I've never even gone to a single class! This is all just...
Well, then that decides that.
Notebooks.
Yep.
If 2 years have passed...
Because it proves that he went to classes.
Yep. Yeah, 2 years and he's still here.
So he's like our age almost.
Yeah, and
Yikes.
he only remembers being held back 3 times, but is closer to 5.
That's really bad.
Oh man.
I guess they make him 23. At least 23. Because when you first meet him, he's like, yeah, we'll go out for drinks later. Makoto's like, I'm not old enough. He's like, well, I am.
I'll make it out of school poor hero.
Kira, there's something I'd like you to take a look at.
Chucks the book.
What are these occult symbols? It's homework.
It's your handwriting, man.
Hey, why is my name written on it?
I found it in the locker room on the 2nd floor.
How'd you know it was my locker? There was a crystal ball. Sounds about right.
Whatever you want.
Sounds like...
But I've never seen this notebook before in my life.
What's that? Is something wrong?
It's kinda similar. No, even more than that. This is absolutely my handwriting, without a doubt! But how is this? I don't remember ever writing in this thing! No, no way!
It looks like you actually did attend class here at Host Peak. But somehow, I forgot all about it.
Lies! It's all one big lie!
I don't want to believe it either.
Oh, you're back.
Also, no
Yep.
explanation for this pocketbook.
And whose pocketbook is that?
It's mine. And the handwriting inside is also mine. There's no doubt about it. But just like Hiro, I have no memory of ever writing in it.
And the reason for that is the 2 years of missing memories?
After seeing all the evidence, do you have any choice but to acknowledge the truth?
Isn't it just so desperately dark? The mystery's solved, but it's like a goddamn funeral in here. Shit, man, I've never been to a funeral. Hell yes!
You're not really missing out on much, to be honest.
How many moments of blossoming youth have you missed out on? How many fun classes? How many school events? This was your chance to build lasting friendships, right? And on top of that, something tragically sad happened 1 year ago. The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. Right before everyone's eyes, the world came crashing down. You absorbed all that despair, but then you forgot it all. And once you'd forgotten, you made the choice to subject yourself to this killing game. Oh, and there's one other thing. To be even more precise, the memories you all lost were...
Actually, never mind. Explaining stuff is boring.
What? We are bored of this world. Everyone always talks big, declaring all the great things they'll do. But then they always fizzle out. This world is just so desperately fucking boring!
What are you talking about? In a way, I'm jealous of all of you. To give yourself over so completely to such stimulating despair.
Yeah, so figure out the rest for yourselves. I'm sick of expositioning all this shit.
Figure out what?
Figure out where your memories come apart. That's at the heart of all of this.
Where all our memories come apart? Is she talking about the moment where we must have lost our memories? I can only think of one time, just after I set foot in the main hall of the first time. And that was...
I got it!
I got it!
The moment I lost my memories. Can't think of any time other than that day. When I first came to the gates of this school and stepped foot in the main hall, when I passed out, I was overcome with a strange sensation.
Wow, you still have enough spirit to keep on talking, huh? So I don't know much about the details, but it seems like everyone remembers passing out, right? And your sense of time got all messed up because of the memory loss after that? I guess it must have been something like that.
After I passed out, I woke up in a classroom with my head on a desk. I assumed not much time had passed since I'd collapsed in the main hall.
But instead, 2 whole years had gone by.
The reason it felt so short was because our memories of the time in between had been completely removed.
You got it, honey. 2 years of memories? Gone. Which means, of course...
When everyone met for the first time, it wasn't actually for the first time. Unaware of this fact, you took the time to introduce yourselves to each other,
But by that point, we'd already spent 2 years together at the school. That's what those photos reveal, isn't it?
Yep, that's what they reveal. You were all such close friends. You spent 2 years together, and then you started killing each other. And it was all so you could escape into a world that's already been annihilated. What a terribly tragic tale. Even if you left now, there's nothing you could do to fix it.
You're the one who set things up to be like this!
I love you all so much.
What?
Once your school life here began, I thought about you constantly. It's only natural that I would fall in love.
So, since I love you guys so much, I'll tell you all about it. All about the idea we came up with as the ultimate despair. Our plan to bring despair to all mankind.
Ultimate despair? All mankind?
Let's go back in time 2 years, okay? Back to when everyone first came to this school.
Yeah. So while they're going through this is why at the end of that one trial that Kyoko asks, "What did you do to my body?" Because it's been 2 years, so like they physically matured as well.
Boy, it was just the worst.
was enjoying themselves so
Celeste
much.
clawing
You
Hifumi's
were
eyes
all
out.
having the time of your lives.
But that couldn't last forever, of course. The peacefulness only made it through that first year. Because after that, an event unfolded that hammered a soul-crushing despair into all of humanity. The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. The tragedy. All too soon, the world's days of peace came to a bloody end.
Oh, hey, it's that, oh no, never mind. That was a... Was that a card that they screwed up after the Final Four game that they flipped and set on fire? The last thing it was a scooter for some reason.
There were scooters damaged too.
I mean, I'm not surprised by that.
What are you?
What do you mean?
Someone should Photoshop that and just make it a bunch of tech
And
fans.
the ultimate despair that caused it. I can't believe it's all because of just you and Mukuro. Was it some kind of organization? An angry mob? An incredibly motivated family?
You have a point. If I had to describe it, I'd say it was none of those. How can I put it? It was more of an ideological thing. Despair is contagious, you know. It's almost like a natural phenomenon. Everyone is capable of it. And now the entire world has fallen into despair.
In other words, if you see despair as the enemy, then your enemy is the world itself.
I just don't understand why.
We didn't ask you to try to understand. This was a tangent anyway, unrelated to the matter at hand.
Okay, so let's get back to the story. Hope's Peak had taken so much damage. You guys were the only survivors. The members of the 78th class of Hope's Peak Academy were the only ones left.
And then, something super neat happened! Now pay attention, because this is important, and I'm only gonna say it once! So guess what? To protect everyone who had survived, Hope's Peak was transformed into a shelter! That's right! It was transformed into a shelter! I said it twice!
Now, someone was responsible for that transformation, for creating what would eventually become your prison. Do any of you know who that might have been?
The one who turned Hope's Peak into a shelter and isolated us here.
The Prime Minister. What?
I got it! It could only have been the headmaster of Hope's Peak Academy. He wanted to turn the school into a shelter to try and protect
Kyoko,
us.
bring him out here.
Protect
It's
us
bringing the present.
from the despair and tragedy.
Should have brought it for
taking
Junko.
place outside. That's why he asked
I
us
thought you were going to toss it to me and throw it away. I was going to throw it back at Brandon.
to say that we were willing to live in this school forever.
We believe you had something like that in mind, yes. If you, the collective hope of a new generation, could survive, maybe the world could have a fresh start.
Yeah, the headmaster put that much faith in you.
And because we had that same hope, that's why we all agreed to live here forever.
But creating the shelter was also his single biggest mistake. It's laughable, really. He was the headmaster, but he had no idea. He had no idea that we, the ultimate despair, had already made our way into the school. So
And the serial killer. Don't forget the serial killer.
Yeah.
That's kind of an important thing to overlook.
That made it impossible for you to escape despair. I have to say, it really helped me out a lot. It saved me a ton of time.
By the way, it was you yourselves who blocked off the windows, the doors, all the exits. Under the headmaster's direction, you all went about your work like obedient little sheep.
You mean
killing each other served as the climax of our global despair plan.
And the only reason you survived the tragedy was so that you could be a part of it.
You let us live? So we could go around killing each other? Is that what you're saying?
Why? Why would you do that?
Because this was so much more than a simple high school death match. Rather, it was a method to hunt down and destroy every last remaining speck of hope in the world.
What are you saying?
Well, it would seem that there's a little bit left out there. A few souls unwilling to give up hope. So I thought I should show them, which is why
Well, why don't you tell me?
What the mastermind did to show everyone in the outside world. That was... Hangman's Gambit.
This is pretty much your last thing on here. There's still a couple of truth bullets, but they're like super easy.
I was like,
Now I understand. You're talking about you hijacking the airwaves, aren't you?
Uh-huh. That's exactly what I'm talking about. To show the world the murders taking place at this school, which was meant to be a symbol of hope.
That was the whole point of the ultimate despair. When I said climax, that was what I was talking about. The world watched as you fell into despair and began to kill each other one after another. Despair is as contagious as any disease. Any hope left turns to despair.
Isn't the power of television just amazing? By the way, since we started broadcasting, a whole bunch of people have tried to come and rescue you.
Are you serious?
But utilizing the heavy weaponry I installed around the school grounds, I had no problem expelling them.
Expels them?
I have to thank you all. They were a relentless bunch, refusing to give up on hope and trying to force their beliefs on the world. But in the end, I was able to give them the final despair. Death.
So you just used us? To bring despair to everyone in the outside world?
Well, sure, but I also gave you a second chance at life, right? So it's like, give and take.
Give and take? You're so full of shit!
And there's a reason I chose you guys to survive when all the other students were dropping like flies.
Tried to do precision F strike and just failed miserably.
I mean, we built up 2 years of memories together. You were all my treasured classmates.
Sorry, that's a lie. I just figured you'd despair even more when you found out a friend had betrayed you.
And that's the truth, which is what you wanted, right? So, does it make you feel utterly lost and hopeless? You solved the mystery, but despair at the truth, right?
Don't tell me. Did you seriously count on the possibility that we would solve your mystery?
And if we did, then what? Our final desire for creating this world of despair was so we could experience one last class trial. If you were bold enough to solve the mystery, only to discover that the truth was utterly hopeless, how would you react? What would you do?
See? Discovering the truth doesn't necessarily lead to a sense of hope.
Truth can be full of despair, too. Like right fucking now.
truth full of despair? That's...
Not to mention, all those motives I talked about were totally meaningless. I mean, with the world having ended and all.
Meaningless? Then we've been murdering each other for nothing?
And think about it. You chose to lock yourselves up here, then started murdering each other to get out.
We weren't just random strangers either. We were classmates. We'd spent 2 years together.
No, you're not a cat like that.
Even she's like, wow, that's fucked up, man.
You're totally awesome, right? We get it already! So help us! I'll do anything! Just help me!
A peasant begging for his life? Oh, how delightful! We've never witnessed such a travesty firsthand.
But I'm sorry to say, begging doesn't work on me. All I want is despair, and there's no reason for it. And since there's no reason, there's no argument against it. There's just no understanding it. No argument, no understanding. What better definition of ultimate despair could there be?
Wait, hold on. You've just been going on about whatever you feel like, but there's no real reason for us to believe anything you have to say.
Huh?
You say the world's fallen apart, but I haven't seen it for myself. So I don't acknowledge it. I don't accept it as the truth.
Until you see it with your own eyes. Truth and falsehood overlap one another. In other words, you're not unlike Schrodinger's cat right now. Is that what you're saying? If so, what then?
Are you saying you won't accept the truth until you can go outside and see for yourself? Well, you better not. You go out into that world and you're all goners for sure. Trust me, I'm not lying about any of this.
Well, even if it's all true, I refuse to give in. I refuse to lose to you. For the sake of everyone you've killed.
Huh? Everyone I've killed? What are you talking about? You're the ones who killed them.
I didn't kill anyone. I simply gave you a little nudge in the right direction.
And that's all it took for you to start killing each other. You're nothing but bloodthirsty animals.
That's why anyone was murdered here, peasant.
Say what you want about hope, but we're all creatures of instinct, right? Despair comes naturally.
Oh, yes! That's funny as shit!
No! This isn't just some game to us. It's murder! Plain and simple! You stole our memories, invented reasons for us to do it. You pushed us all into a corner! It's all your fault!
You certainly have a talent for tossing the buck, don't you? That must be your hope, huh? But we don't have much time left to keep up this banter. We have to draw things to a close soon.
What do you mean?
I'm talking about the vote, of course. You didn't forget about that little rule, did you? Oh, and also, since this will be the last vote, I decided to change the rules.
What?
You guys so full of hope, and me so full of despair. I've decided to have you vote which one will be punished. If even one of you votes to punish hope, well then, I'll consider that a win for me, and punish everyone on the side of hope.
It's just one person?
Oh, but don't worry, I won't be voting, of course.
Even if you don't, you still got the upper hand in all this!
How? It's okay. Nobody would actually vote to kill themselves, right?
Oh, let me just mention one more thing. When I win, to punish you guys, you'll have to stay here till you grow old and die. No fighting, no killing. That's your punishment.
What?
You mean, we just...
We'd have to just live here? She's saying she'll let us live.
If you're not happy with that, then go ahead and punish me. And make your way to the outside world.
Enter a world fallen from grace, where only despair exists, where you'd likely be dead within a day.
What are you saying? So no matter what, we're doomed.
Wait a sec! I just got hit with an inspiration bomb!
Dying pang of old age is boring as shit, right? The audience at home isn't gonna dig that at all. So, here's what'll happen. One of you will get to experience an instant, super impressive punishment. What? You can't just...
Do you mean to say you'll execute one of us?
And I get to decide who's gonna have to suck it down. Makoto, you're up.
Me? Yeah, you've been acting up, causing all kinds of trouble. I hate you!
So let me make this clear. Everyone has two choices in front of them. If a single person votes for Hope to be punished, then only Makoto will receive a harsh punishment, and the rest of you will live here in peace.
If, on the other hand, you desire to see us punished, then you must all leave this place.
I will force you out, ensuring you all die horrible deaths in the outside world.
What I'm saying is, if you sacrifice Makoto, the rest of you will get to live out your lives.
Sacrifice me? But that's...
What? Has your resolve softened? Have you lost confidence? Are you afraid of being
If everyone votes to kill me, then suddenly it's not my problem anymore.
I also forgot to mention, this is part of the theory of, in the bad ending for Chapter 5 of why Toko is dead, quote-unquote. They literally just wrote her out, but some people theorized because Genocide Jack knew what was going on really in the outside world that the mastermind probably killed her. Which would make sense, but they just never confirmed that. They said they just kind of wanted to throw it in there for the sake of throwing it in there.
Yeah.
But that would have made sense.
Mm-hmm.
It would seem
Byakuya looks so peaceful and happy.
He can finally sleep easy at night.
Rice? It's so beautiful. Your lovely faces, eroded by despair, have come together as one.
Besides, Yoko, you could never betray your father, could you?
What?
He's dead.
I mean, the headmaster's only wish was that all of you would survive, right?
I think we're pretty far from that.
He lost over half of the cast.
Here after all. The least you can do is try to honor your dead father's wishes.
Joke's on you, we weren't close.
Yeah. Joke's on you, she hated him. Or thought she hated him.
Yoko, one person's despair is enough to seal your fate. Isn't that just the most hopeless outcome ever?
So, who do you think's gonna give in? Whose despair is gonna sign your death warrant?
No one. Nobody's gonna give in to despair. We're not gonna lose to you.
So boring. Stubborn till the very end, huh? Well, that's fine. Then let's just hurry up and get it over with. It's time for the final vote. Everything will come to an end. Your stupid hope.
And your stupid life.
The final vote. This is it. The ultimate confrontation. I have to show everyone. I have to make them remember. I have to convince them not to give up. To live in despair. That's not really living at all.
Like that he's animating, but he's not talking, so he's just over there.
Group photo, lock her notebook, lock her pocketbook.
I bet it's group photo.
Me too.
Nah, you'll figure this out pretty quickly.
We won't give up. As long as there's hope, we'll never give up.
If I were to die, that would be the end of Hope's Peak Academy.
It's that.
By the way, the air outside is totally polluted, you know. The only reason we're okay in here is thanks to the air purifiers in the physics lab. If I die, the purifiers will screech to a halt. In other words, as soon as I die, the communal life you've all been living will come to an end.
Meh.
All of you will have to leave.
Make that my text tone.
You'll have to go
Sounds
into
like
the
a
world
baby
outside, where only death and despair are waiting. So, what are you gonna do?
Will you just die? Is that what you want?
Alright, so you throw it at things that are only words.
Yeah. Don't do something. Okay, so I lose every time it does that?
Okay, I didn't realize that.
Consume despair. You claim there's no hope left in the world. But if despair is contagious like you say, then so is hope. I'll use my own hope to plant seeds of hope inside everyone else. That's gross, Makoto.
As long as there's hope, we'll never give up.
I don't know.
Absorb it.
Yeah, I thought you said there were no absorb bullets.
That was in the first half of the trial. Because remember, you did the comic thing between the two.
Yeah.
It gets better sped up.
So, what will you just die?
We won't give up. As long as there's hope, we'll never give up.
I just shared at everybody else's. I assume.
That would be the end of Hope's Peak Academy.
Don't lose hope now.
All my fortune-telling senses are telling me not to leave this place.
But since you're only right 20 to 30% of the time.
Yeah.
But to live is moving forward, right? So even if it's hard, even if we're scared, we don't have any choice, do we? I want to keep on living. I want to open the next door. There must be something new waiting for me. So that's why, no matter what, I need to get out of here. The whole fortune-telling thing doesn't matter anymore. What matters is my own gut feelings.
Good for you, hero.
We won't
Good
give
boy.
up.
Alright.
As long as there's hope,
So don't
As
do
long
it.
as there's hope.
So leave Hero.
Obviously.
As they say in Yu-Gi-Oh! Bridge, wait a minute, what the heck happened to your voice? Did your testicles just drop in the last 5 seconds?
Outside is totally polluted. The only reason is thanks to the air.
don't lose hope now.
I've been thinking about all this, and I was thinking, at a time like this, what would Sakura do?
Aww.
Only get stronger by taking adversity by the horns.
Sakura was the purest of us all.
Yes.
That sounds like something she'd say, right? No. I think that's definitely what she'd say. Which is why yeah! I've made up my mind!
We won't give up. As long as there's
Get that
hope, we'll never give up.
If I were to die, that would be the end of Hope's Peak.
I decided to have faith in myself.
By the way, the only reason is thanks to me and say whatever you want. I've made my decision. If I die, I care about your words. The communal algae I'll be with me.
Don't lose hope now.
I don't care either way. I'm fine with whichever one is more interesting.
Somehow that doesn't surprise me.
Oh, hated fool. No matter how I look, still hate it. But no matter what, Master has to come along with us.
We won't give up. As long as there's hope, we'll never give up.
If I were to die, that would be the end. By the way, the only reason is thanks to me and say whatever you want if I die. In other words, the communal life involved. I can keep on living as long as I have my master's love. All of you will have to leave. You'll have to go into the world outside.
Don't lose hope now.
What's the matter? You're not actually trying to encourage me, are you? Ridiculous. It never even crossed my mind that I might give in to despair. But don't misunderstand me. I couldn't care in the slightest what happens to you.
Wow,
I
thanks.
just have to keep my word. I swore I would end the life of the mastermind. Besides, the Togami family isn't dead, because I'm still alive. So until I can restore the Togami family and bring it greater glory than it's ever known,
We won't give up. As long as there's hope, we'll never give up.
If I were to die, that would be the end. By the way, the only reason why is thanks to the say whatever you want if I die. In other words, if you know life, you want to keep on living. All of you will have to know not to go into the world outside.
I already said I would claim the mastermind's life by whatever means necessary.
So, what are you gonna do? Will you just die? Is that what you want?
Don't lose hope now.
I like how the music changed throughout that.
I don't know if you saw it your first time through too, but for Kyoko's, like the ... you actually can't shoot hers down until you've shot everybody else's down.
Oh.
But even if we're just connected by blood, there's one thing I am sure of. He would never want us to abandon Makoto and choose to stay here. I can't explain why exactly. But if I'm sure of anything, I'm sure of that. Just because we don't actually know anything. Does that mean we can't understand? Could it be that... No, never mind. So, Makoto, I don't think you wound up at this school because you had good luck or bad luck. I think you came here for a different reason entirely. You came here to bring down the ultimate despair. You came here to confront despair without ever giving up. And if that's true, I think we could call you the ultimate hope. What do you think?
What the hell are you?
Nice.
Nice song.
So uncool. Your stupid faces, the stupid things you've said, the stupid way you all treat each other. It's all so uncool, so unhip. Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up! Lame.
I'm not any kind of elite anything. Hope isn't a talent you develop, but still. But I still...
He actually does say that in his intro the first time that he talks about himself, though, is he says he's got a little bit more determination than other people do, typically.
What do you want? So uncool.
You dare to stand against us?
Hope is a joke. Who are you? You're gross. Suffer from despair. I just love despair.
Oh, shit.
Alright, your stars are back.
Hope is a joke. Who are you?
Would you like to die?
You're gross.
Thank you for giving me unlimited bullets for this.
Oh, that was because of your star power.
Oh, I still have that.
It restores. It's back and full. Oh, no, never mind. You're good.
Despair into tomorrow. Despair.
Hope keeps on going.
I love how you interrupt her.
No.
I refuse to give up. I refuse to get bored. I refuse to throw it all away. I refuse to despair. Because all I have going for me is the desire to keep moving forward.
What's going on? What's happening?
Useful?
It looks like we've reached the end. I think it may be time to vote.
We just gotta pull the lever, right?
Good. I'm ready to go.
That laugh.
Put an end to the killing with our own hands.
It just comes up Makoto anyway.
Yeah. Why is she smiling at that? She's the despair. She can't smile.
The hell?
Indeed.
You've lost, Junko.
I lost?
I lost? Me? No way.
Well, that's
It can't be!
You still don't accept it? Even the ultimate despair herself is vulnerable to the onslaught of despair, it would seem.
What the heck?
But there's no use trying to fight it now.
Well, that's just totally the best.
Huh?
So this is despair.
Came to the school 2 years ago, created our incredibly detailed plan. I even killed my own sister for it.
And now I...
To come this far and fail at the very end?
True
It's the most ultimately ultimate despair.
What are you talking about?
And now I...
Don't you see? I was so hopelessly desperate. I was bored of the world the moment I was born. That's why I've been looking forward to this so desperately, this once-in-a-lifetime experience. It's my first and last colossal despair here at the moment of death. To have the chance to taste the highest grade of despair, the utter failure of my dreams.
True despair.
I'm so hopelessly happy right now.
Huh?
Wait, is she enjoying this?
Anyway,
So you prepared to admit defeat? You think I care whether I won or lost? Either way, it doesn't change a thing. Outside is only despair, inside is only despair. No matter where you go, despair awaits you.
That's not true.
Not possible.
You're wrong. Huh?
Don't make me repeat myself.
Let me tell you this right now. We no longer fear despair.
Because we've decided to enter the outside world with hope.
Yeah, Makoto totally seduced us over to his side. Everyone.
Toga's gonna wake up and be like, guys, what happened?
Did we make it?
You said that despair is as contagious as any disease.
however,
But the same is true of hope. All you have to do is look at us to see how true that is.
Kyoko.
No.
Ah, stop it! Stop! I hate those faces you're making! To see those awful looks cause me nothing but pain.
There's one last...
Fine, just let me say one last thing. If you guys want to get all hung up on the word hope, that's no skin off my nose. But just be warned. From this point on, one despair after another will stand in your way. No matter where you run, no matter where you hide. Maybe you'll find some hope, but there's a very fine line in between hope from bitter despair. Knowing that, you still plan to cling to your hope?
Of course, because we...
Shut up, shut up. That was a rhetorical question. You interrupted my monologue. I'm almost done, though, so whatever. Because it's almost punishment time, right? Do you really intend to go through with this? That was the agreement, right?
Hold on. It's not like I want you to die. You don't have to.
Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!
What?
How many times do I have to tell you?
The act of living brings me no hope at all. All I want now is to taste that despair of death that you only get once in life, so...
Don't get in my way! So this is how the despair of death feels. It's so wonderful. Even a tenth of this despair, even 100th. I want every last soul on this planet to taste such despair. I want the entire world to die with that despair in its mouth. Okay, let's do this. I've reserved an extra special punishment for last. Let's give it everything we've got. It's punishment time!
Get used to seeing swirly eyes on a certain character in the second game later.
There were only like, what, 4 punishments total?
This one, you can probably guess what the ultimate punishment is.
Is it all of them at once?
It's all of them combined, yeah.
She's having way too much fun with that.
Yeah.
I forgot about that one.
Yeah, that's what happened to the headmaster.
alter ego interrupts and stops that one again.
Clean up on aisle 2! Yes, that prediction that Hiro made about there being no more murders after the end of the case 3, he was technically right.
Yeah.
Sakura killed herself, AI didn't actually die, Makoto's execution failed, and Junko committed suicide, so none of those deaths were a murder by somebody else. They were either suicide or didn't happen.
Huh.
Unless you count the non-canon ending of Kyoko dying.
Yeah. And that's how everything came to an end. The final class trial. Junko in Inoshima, the ultimate despair. Life at Hope's Peak Academy. It was all over.
It's a much more subdued ending compared to the other 2 games.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's very tame compared to the second and third game. Especially the second one.
You received the Monokumo hair tie present. Yes, I'd like to save. But even after saying it was all over, it's not like the building exploded or collapsed in on itself or anything. That wasn't the kind of ending waiting for us. Nothing changed. Well, with one exception. The air purifiers turned off. Just like Junko said. They shut off immediately. That was the only difference. We left the courtroom and made our way to the main hall. We stood in front of the door. Nobody made a sound. I felt almost absent-minded. This was our epilogue before the final ending. We were stuck here in limbo, unmoving, unsure. But, in the end...
Oh yeah, that's true. We'll have to talk about that after. There are concept executions for characters that never actually got executed. Whether they were murdered or survived. We can't just stand around like this forever. At some point, we need to leave.
To nobody's surprise, it was Kyoko who broke the silence.
Makoto, would you do the honors?
Okay. As if awakened by Kyoko's words, I took out the object we had gotten. Up until the moment of her death, it had belonged to Junko. And in the end, she dropped it before us.
But is that really it? Is that really the key to this door?
Indeed.
You don't have to read into what she said too much to find the answer.
If, on the other hand, you desire to see us punished, then you must all leave this place.
I will force you out, ensuring you all die horrible deaths in the outside world.
In other words...
I will force you out. She said that just before dropping that. It makes sense that it would be our way out of here.
But you never know. Maybe it's actually a switch that's gonna make the school self-destruct. I mean, Junko never said specifically that she'd let us leave here alive.
It's true.
You may be right about that.
Maybe?
Yes.
But even so, it's impossible to think we wouldn't take our chances with it. Yeah, I guess that's true.
There's nothing to worry about! If something ever happened to Master, I'd take my scissors and jam him so far up! Oh. Huh? Hey, where's the courtroom? Where's the mastermind? Oh yeah, they're gone. It's all over. We were just about to leave the school. What? Leave? We can go outside? Then that means me and the master can get married? Nope.
Nah.
He just sprints out.
And then he'll give me a little jewel of a baby?
He was like, push the button, push the button! God damn it, Dakota, push the button!
I'd be fine if it exploded us.
Yeah. Please stop. That would be greater horror than anything I've encountered so far.
Anyway, don't worry. I have no doubt that we'll be able to leave here without a problem. Let's see. It's what happens after we get out that I'm worried about.
But, you know, in the end, I think part of me still thinks...
You're serious?
Maybe when we get out of here, we'll see that everything she said about the world was a lie. That on the other side of this door is a world as peaceful as we remember. A lie. Peaceful as we remember. Well, no matter what it looks like, it's still our world. It's where we're meant to live. Yeah, I guess so. And, how do I put this? Unlike this school, the world is really big, right? Since it's so big, I'm sure there must be some despair no matter what. But there also has to be lots of hope, right?
In other words,
The act of searching for hope to try and find it, that by itself is the true meaning of hope. As long as you have that hope, you can keep moving forward no matter what trouble you may fall into.
am I wrong?
Is that what you mean, Makoto?
Yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. I don't need any of you to spell that out for me. You know, Junko mentioned that there were still others out there who hadn't cast away hope just yet. Maybe I should find them and make them work for me. To rebuild the world, we must first rebuild Togami Dynasty.
I'll go with you. I'll follow you anywhere you want to go.
You got it.
My first stop is going to be the closest donut shop. I can figure out the rest from here.
Hey.
And what are you gonna do if there are no more donut shops or donuts?
I'll just get some flour and make them myself. And if there's no flour, I'll just grow some wheat.
Huh! I get it now! If there's no road, you just gotta build one. Creation. Fate is telling me to remake the world. That's my hope.
How about that?
I've reached the next stage. The next chapter of Yashihiro Hagakure's life story is about to begin. Thanks, Hina. You totally opened my eyes.
Hey, personal space, buddy. You're seriously creeping me out.
Makoto.
Come on, Makoto. Even if everyone in the outside world is gone, even if the world is steeped in despair, as long as I have people like you around, I can face forward and keep moving. If we can get out of here and do something, have some sort of impact.
But what can we do? There's so few of us and we're so small. So what can we do? No, we can't probably do anything. Yeah, we can do anything. What? Those two things were like...
Well, I guess this is goodbye. And goodbye to Sakura.
Yo, you're not gonna release the chickens before we go?
Yeah, assholes.
With a smile on our face.
Hey guys! You guys want your fortunes told anywhere, anytime. You just let me know.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen.
You know how much I hate being annoyed. But if something does come up, you may as well let me know. I can't guarantee I'll actually bother listening, but, you know.
I don't know why, but I have a burning desire to start writing. I might be able to pull it off. A story about Master and me. And the others, I guess.
I can't say I'm sorry about what happened, but still, it does feel kind of strange.
I really don't know what to say. I guess we graduated?
It looks like hope really is spreading. As long as I never give up. I have to push even harder. The button's stuck.
I was hoping you were gonna make a joke about that.
I'm going to keep moving forward with hope in my heart. Since I have hope, I can show courage. Since I have hope, I can move ahead. The world can move ahead. The door began to open. With my hands, with our hands, hope and despair mingled together, opening the door to the future.
We were instantly mobbed.
Yeah. The end.
Yep. No one gets to see the outside world. No one gets it.
Hooray! Passed.
Yeah, probably would have been kind of hard to predict there's going to be 6 people surviving that.
Yeah.
That seems like a bit high for a number. So now that I've got them here, for all the other executions for people that were either victims or survivors that never got played. I already told you what Saika's was, but I only said Saika's because if I told you what Junko's was, that kind of would have spoiled a lot. So I just stopped after hers. If Taka had been a culprit, he would have been sitting on a vehicle on a parade with everyone cheering for his election to Prime Minister, because that was his goal. And then he would have been assassinated by a sniper. If Toko had been a culprit, Monokuma would have thrown her into a complete darkness except for Byakuya standing there. She would have run towards him, only to get crushed by a steamroller. If Saika had been a culprit, so if she had successfully killed Leon, we already talked about that one, doing the performance and then having Monokuma breaking the meter and having her fail and getting ripped in half. If Hifumi had been a culprit, which technically was, but he was just killed before he could get a punishment, he would have been placed inside basically inside of an anime that had him fighting against the princess, whoever, that he really liked, and he would have been killed by a laser in a crossfire. If Hina had been a culprit, I don't know where they got this one from. I guess the Ultimate Swim, but the rest of it doesn't make much sense. She would have appeared in a water tank, and instead of drowning in front of everyone, she actually would have just gotten eaten by sharks. I guess, sure, cool, why not? If Chihiro had been a culprit, would have been sentenced to run forward in a side-scrolling 8-bit platformer game, but a huge group of pixel sprite Monokumas would have caught up, and his sprite would have disappeared. If Sakura had been a culprit and killed someone besides herself, she'd be standing in the wilderness with multiple space aliens. I don't know where they got this one from. And soldiers appearing for her to fight. She would have kicked them all away at first, but they would have kept appearing until she just straight up ran out of energy, and then they would have crushed her to death. If Byakuya had been a culprit, Monokuma would have dropped him into a garbage can in a place that looks like hell. Monokuma would have dressed like an elementary school student and thrown stones at Togami. He would have managed to escape, but he would have gone to a cold and snowy place and would have died as a result of his wounds and exposure to the cold. And if Yasuhiro, I actually do like Yasuhiro's. If he had been a culprit, he would have been placed on a game show where he had to choose from one of 3 doors. He would have picked, he would have picked door A, and then it would have grown hands and feet and fled from him. He would have picked door B, and it would have done the same. That would have left him with door C, which would have grown a mouth and eaten him. So basically, even though he was right both times, it wouldn't have mattered. So what do you think of the game?
I liked it. I really enjoyed it.
After I went through 3, I still think this is probably the strongest of the 3.
Yeah.
The third one's pretty solid. The second one's definitely the weakest, at least in my opinion, but this one, there's really only one character I don't like in this one.
Yeah.
And in the second game, I can think of at least 2 straight off the top of my head, and I can think of at least 2 off the top of my head in the third game as well.
Yeah.
But we still have school mode to go over any characters if you wanted to get more backstory from them.
Okay.
Because the way the school mode works is, it's basically an alternate reality version where instead of there being multiple Monokumas, there's only one because he forgot to build more.
Uh-huh.
And so you build the Monokumas for him. And so what you can do... Oh, great, that shot's there again. I'm glad that's there. I just see, Toko in midair. Yeah. And I'm like, what in the hell? Oh, there's the Mondo Butter.
Yeah.
He will be missed. Oh well. So you build the Monokumas, but you also have free time events where you can get the normal free time events that you get in the main story, so you can finish those. And then there's also ones where basically you can take people to explore, which is a not date, basically. Oh, yeah. It functions more like an actual, this style of game for visual novel. It's what most people expect. Except it's not all about, just cheesy romance stuff. It's, taking them to a place that they would want to go and doing something that they would want to do.
Yeah.
So for Sakura, it would be taking her to do training or something.
Yeah.
Or find stuff that she can carry for muscle training, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But you get all the backstory through them that way, and then it kind of has a little thing at the end where there's multiple endings of didn't build any Monokumas, built some of the Monokumas, or built all the Monokumas. Mm-hmm. So I'll probably have you play it once naturally to get all the extra character stuff you want, and then just use my file to get the endings for all the characters you want to. Mm-hmm. Oh, and there's Monokuma, just laying on the floor.
Yeah. I have to wait for Caitlin to come back. She went to the bathroom.
Yeah. But they kind of give you different endings for that. And you can get up to, I think 4 endings per per playthrough. So really, you can pick 4 people that like you really want to get the endings for, and if there's anybody you don't want to, I can just tell you what the endings are, or whoever you just decide on not getting the endings for.
Yeah.
Because I'm assuming people like Sayaka, Junko, and Hifumi are probably not going to get picked.
Mm-hmm.
But then after she gets back and this is over, I'll show you the cast for the second game.
Mm-hmm.
Caitlin's a slow!
I know.
Jeez!
You should hurry up, because now I have to go to the bathroom.
Girls in their bathrooms, right?
I know.
So we'll probably never have you play the Despair Girls spin-off, but Toko's actually in that game as one of the contestants again.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. She looks way different, and apparently she acts way different from what I've heard. I really hope Genocide's still in the game, though.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I really care about.
Oh, wow. The house we were looking at?
Yeah.
There's an open house for it tomorrow.
Nice. Perfect timing.
Alright.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, waiting on you, Slowpoke.
You know?
I figured you really wanted to see the picture of Monokuma just, like, doing some push-ups.
Yes.
Interesting. Things are getting very interesting indeed. Like I said at the beginning, I'm not a teddy bear. I am Monokuma. And I am this school's headmaster.
Bum, bum, bum.
Except not really, because I've told you the one thing that's constant in every game is that Monokuma's in it. That's like the one thing that stays constant.
The Easter egg. Wah, wah.
This also technically unlocks something else outside of the school mode. There's a present you can get in the little slot machine thing now, which is called the emergency button, I think. It's basically an alternate ending where everybody escapes.
I remember you telling me that.
Yeah. So you have to get that by completing the game once.
Okay.
Alright, so for now, go ahead and close the game, and I will switch over to the window that's got the cast list for Season 2. Well, how fitting it ends with Kyoko. It started with Junko when I loaded it up, which makes it even better.
Ultimate cook.
Yeah. Alright, so going one by one, I decided since I couldn't figure out a decent order that we were just going to do it reverse alphabetical with first names.
Okay.
So a little bit of information about each of the characters, without spoiling anything. This guy prefers to actually be called the Ultimate Chef because the Ultimate Cook sounds less sophisticated, apparently.
Okay.
I don't know why he came up with that or how he did, but apparently he did. He is also Male Morgan from Fire Emblem Awakening, same voice actor as him. So you can go ahead and click to the next one. I'll have you control the mouse. You can hit the arrow keys or just click. Either one should work. It's just a slideshow.
Yeah.
Let's see. Sonia Nevermind. If you're wondering why her last name is weird, she is a walking homage to the band Nirvana. Her home country is named after the bassist, and the last name Nirvana is the title of their second album. So that's why she has a weird last name. Peko Pekoyama, the Ultimate Swordswoman. There's a sort of kind of like the school mode. There's an alternate mode in this game as well, where you can try to romance the characters, and she's the only female character that you cannot romance because she's already interested in somebody else. Nekomaru, who is absolutely goddamn hilarious. Oh, Peko also, if you go back real quick, same voice actor as Lysithea from Three Houses.
Nice. Even kind of looks the same.
I know.
Yeah.
Now we have male Sakura coming up.
I love this guy. I think he's absolutely hilarious. He is the ultimate team manager, and he states it is his duty to make his pupils do the impossible. He trained somebody that won a tennis match that went on for 36 hours.
Jeez.
He also voices the Death Knight in Fire Emblem Three Houses, which when you actually see him in game will just make you lose all respect for the Death Knight. And he also voices Cervantes from Soul Calibur 5.
Nice.
Nagito, whose last name is covered up by his giant hair, the ultimate lucky student. Just like Makoto, he gets in by winning a lottery, which gives him the talent as a default, and he considers it a lot more lackluster in comparison to the other players. Same voice actor as Makoto, but they are not the same character.
Do lucky students only wear hoodies?
Apparently. They just kind of wanted him to make him look similar, so people were like, oh, is it actually Makoto? No, it's not.
It's a better looking Makoto.
I don't know what to think about this character. People are very divisive on this guy. Mikan Tsumugi, the ultimate nurse. I don't have much for her because I couldn't really find that much, but I do find it funny that while she is a nurse and she is like super shy and gets embarrassed very easily, two of the gifts that you can give her that she really likes are the Queen's Straitjacket and the Gag Ball.
Oh gosh.
So yes, it's one of those characters. Mahiru.
Oh, hi, Leonie.
Yeah. She tends to react to situations in a more predictable manner. She's basically the only student without an obvious quirk, i.e. the only sane woman. She also is voiced by the same voice actor as Mokuba from Yu-Gi-Oh!
Nice.
Which is funny because she does not sound like Mokuba at all.
Yeah.
Alright, Kazuichi. Let's see. His father beat him after he found out that he was skipping classes but didn't... Or after he was skipping class trips but didn't care if he skipped his regular classes. And so he just decided to stay home and work in their bike shop, so that's how he became the ultimate mechanic. He also, the same voice actor is Ryu from the Street Fighter series, and you guys haven't gotten far enough to get the actual anime sections of Phoenix Wright, but he is the voice of Edgeworth as well.
Oh, nice.
Ibuki. This is actually Hildegard from Soul Calibur 5 for the voice actor, and literally the only thing I put for her is that she has a sprite where she says pointing, and she's actually pointing like this, and it's hilarious. Hiyoko, she is introduced as a cute little girl, and the first time you meet her, what is she doing? She's casually crushing ants for fun, which is kind of creepy. So it's kind of the idea of a contrast between her appearance and her personality. She is also voiced by the same person that voices Trucy in Phoenix Wright, who I don't think you guys have run into yet, but you'll run into her eventually. Hajime, of course, Mr. Dammit himself. The only thing I put down for him, besides the characters he voices, is the reason that the picture on this one is different than all the rest is he doesn't actually remember what his ultimate talent is.
Oh.
So putting that up there would obviously give that away.
He looks suspiciously like Makoto.
Yeah, he also has the idiot hair, which does not help. The voice for this guy also voices Shiba from Soul Calibur.
Nice.
And he also voices, I'll probably butcher this since it's from Naruto Shippuden, which I have not watched, Sasori?
Sasori?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, same voice.
I'm going to be honest, I remember the name, not the character.
I know, same.
That's fair.
I feel like he was one of the Akatsuki that I just forgot about.
It is entirely possible.
It made me think of like a Naruto meme I meant to send you. It was like the Naruto, the swing. It's like the swing has had more screen time than that one girl on... who's that one that she can like just summon all the weapons? Has all the
yeah, shoot.
Yeah, it's like that the swing set has more screen time than she does.
Nice. Of course, my favorite character, like in all the Danganronpa, is Gundam Tanaka. One of his attacks / spells that he likes to scream out is called Infinity Unlimited Flame, and the way he says it is absolutely hilarious. But it's the skill you also get from him through his free time events. Individually, he has 4 hamsters, and they're all named after the 4 biggest selling shonen manga magazines: Mirage Silver Falcon, Jumpy, Star Destroyer Grey Fox Sundee, Invading Black Dragon Champy, and Steel Red Elephant Magazi. They also borrow from the ham chat language of Hamtaro. Fuyuhiko, 2 words, baby gangsta. And that's it. Also, he shares his voice actor with somebody from the main Naruto, which is Shino. The creepy bug guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of weird because he doesn't act like Shino at all.
Shino's got such a good voice, though.
Yeah, this guy does a phenomenal job as Fuyuhiko, for sure.
Look at those long eyelashes.
It's hilarious in Shippuden when he like comes back and reunites with everybody. He forgets Shinu. Forgets his name, and Shinu gets like really like butthurt about it.
Oh, that's so sad.
Like really like sad that he forgot him.
Also, the Yakuza, that's just like a mob group, so basically he's the ultimate mob boss.
Yeah.
Chiaki is on the back half of the page. She is the ultimate gamer and is a complete savant when playing video games, and her wide experience helps give her a really good range of general knowledge. The problem is she games so much that she forgets to sleep sometimes, and she'll just fall asleep while talking to you, which is really sad. There's only one genre of game that she's bad at, and ironically enough, it's a style of game that she's in, which is a dating sim. She's awful at dating sims.
They say, how do you awful at visual novels? How do you suck at visual novels?
And lastly, Akane. She struggles to remember Hajime's name in her free time events, but she more or less reliably gets it right in game, but she also says that she forgets anyone who looks too small and weak. This is also the voice of Xianghua from Soul Calibur 6.
Oh.
Also,
gross.
I lied, there's one more. You might recognize this character.
When you said she struggled, I was going to say, what, on the balance beam with that huge chest? What? It's Fat Byakuya? What?
Yeah, I got no info on him. I'm just leaving that one blank.
What the hell happened, man?
Byakuya Togami, the ultimate affluent progeny.
What?
To find out why Byakuya gained like 300 pounds, tune in for Danganronpa 2 sometime in the future.
Jesus! Why? What?
Freaking Byakuya.
Like, why is he back?
Why is he fat, more importantly?
It's open house tomorrow.
Okay.
Oh, man.
When?
Tomorrow.
What times?
Tomorrow.
All day?
Yeah.
All day,
take
every
Matthew
day.
to the dorm tomorrow.
Guess you won't be there.
Are you gonna go?
Alright, let's go find a raid target.
Yeah, go check it out. Go check it out.
Alright, I'm gonna go pee because I desperately need to do that.
Alright,
Oh,
have
that's
fun.
why I went.
Peace.
Yeah, it's not great to be using the bathroom and staring at a tiny lizard.
No, not
but at
really.
least staring into the eyes of a tiny lizard is better than going in and having no clue where it is.
That's true. The only thing worse than running into them is not knowing where they are.
Especially because he's so little, I was also concerned that I would just like stomp on a bath mat and there he goes.
Oh, yeah, and crush him all. Hopefully not.
I was very careful.
Of course, we're rating him during an intermission. Oh well. Now I'm just gonna watch these gifs. Like the one of the doggo.
Yeah.
Trying to eat the little hungry hippo balls.
I have those scratch